कैसी हो अमरेश्वरी?
अच्छा लगा आज के दिन मिलके। डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट में आए सबसे विश करने के लिए।
मैथिली तुम्हारा सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है, अनम्यूट करो।
शीला जी शुरू करें क्या? शीला जी कहाँ? नमस्ते मिसेस जैन।
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
शीला जी, शकुंतला पारेंगी स्पीकिंग। How's everybody joined? How are you?
हेलो,
शीला जी
सुनाई दे रहा है?
Deepika ji?
actually हाँ, now it's better.
All the speakers
Sheila
have
ji,
joined.
थैंक यू।
हाँ,
Asha ji hasn't joined.
there are
Asha
42
Deshpande.
अब आ रहा है।
42 people, हाँ 42
प्रतिभा,
persons. हमें co-host बनाना होगा शीला जी आपको?
हाँ, मैंने एक बना दिया।
Okay, okay, done.
Yeah, and I'm making Maithili ji also co-host because she wants to show her PPT.
And Vijay Lakshmi?
मेरा गुड आफ्टरनून राम, गुड आफ्टरनून।
को होस्ट बना रहे हैं।
We will show her PPT,
आ जाना
Yutika.
तुम।
Okay.
Vijay Lakshmi's. Okay.
Yes, yes.
हाँ, that's
See you.
Supriya.
Yes, yes.
Maithili ji, I have made you
Speak to me
co-host.
something.
ओह थैंक यू।
Pardon?
you very
No, no. I was saying that Vijay Lakshmi's PPT we are showing. I was
Usha ji.
telling Yutika about it.
Okay.
उषा जी आ गए क्या? उषा
उषा जी आ गई?
जी आशा जी भी नहीं आए हैं अभी.
Yeah.
So do we wait for them, right?
Usha ji was joining. Actually, she was in the process of joining. She just called.
अच्छा,
I think नहीं आए हैं अभी.
नहीं है.
युथिका जी,
हाँ बताइए शिवानी.
शिवानी जी.
मीरा और राम आ रहे हैं. They are going to join.
They
I
are
think
there.
they have
Yeah.
joined
They are
already.
They are there.
They have already joined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've
So I
already
would
joined.
Yeah, they are there.
to both of them.
Yes. Welcome, Meera ji.
Mute.
झालं का? काय झालं पोकोला तुला पाठवून?
आशा जी आ जाएं और उषा जी आ जाएं तो हम लोग शुरू कर सकते हैं. Will you ring them up, Supriya?
I can't see Usha also.
Yeah, same here.
This is a sleep time. Asha ji's.
Okay.
मिडनाइट हो रही है, उनकी
Hmm.
तो मिडनाइट हो रही है.
Wow. कैसे how she manages this?
वैसे आप शुरू कर सकते हैं. आशा तो ने तो बाद में ही उनसे उनका ताल्लुक हुआ था. अभी तो
थर्ड है नाम, जल्दी ही आ जाएगा.
है.
वैसे उषा जी का भी एंड में ही है. सुप्रिया.
Welcome मीरा जी and राम जी. नमस्ते.
वीना जी जब बोल रही है तो आ जाना.
नमस्कार
शीला जी once again.
डाले ना, आवाज दे देना. नहीं बैठे
Gomthi's daughter is also here.
म्यूट करके.
Usha has not joined na, Vijay Lakshmi?
Not yet.
Yeah. Not yet.
She just said that she'll join.
ठीक है. So I think we can
I
start.
would like to Sheila ji, I would like to say hello to Meera and Ramji, Ram Gupta.
They are here.
Bhai.
Ramji and Meera ji, they are here.
I can't see them.
We can see their window, but I don't know whether they're able to hear us. They're here.
Hello, Meera. Hello. Hello, Meera. Hello, Meera.
No, they can't hear us.
Maybe not.
No, but I think they are unmuted.
മീര കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ മീര കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ മീര
Yeah. Now we can see.
ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. Yes,
Okay. Okay.
we can hear.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And we can see you also.
Mm.
Meera. Meera.
If you speak something that it will be tested, you know.
Okay, thank you.
I think,
Ah,
can they?
hi. Hello.
Hi. Now we can hear them.
But we can't see now. Are they visible? Anyway, आवाज सुनना जरूरी है. Okay, I think we can start now. So,
I think we should start. Otherwise, it will get late. There are a lot of presentations today.
okay, shall we? Okay, so I start. Sabhi ko namaskar. A very good afternoon to everyone. So we are gathered on a very special day for a very special lecture, which special episode, which is the last in the series, as we were just discussing, and a very special day, that is Guru Purnima. We pay our homage to our presidents through this program, and we also today are paying homage to all the past presidents for which this series was started. When one hears that, you know, this is the last of the episodes, you know, it makes you nostalgic, and we all start thinking of the past, how it all began. Of course, as you know, we are going to talk about Mrs. Gomthi Nair, who was the 38th president from 2008 to 2010. And she passed away very recently. But when we look back at the whole process, how it all began, I was also, you know, thinking when I was discussing with Sheila ji. So it all began with very humble beginnings, and we never thought it would, you know, become such a big tree that every 15 days we would be looking forward to these episodes and all huddled together in front of our screens. So all this has made it such a lovable program. I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. Since this is the last episode in the series, I think it's a good idea to take a look back at the whole process and the journey of this program, how this was conceived and formulated and delivered. You know, this was a whole pipeline we had. On the face of it, it appears to be, you know, well presented, very enjoyable, entertaining, but there was a lot of work involved behind the stage. The whole exercise began when we conducted the first program on 14th September 2022 on WebEx. Sheila ji might remember that.
Very well. I'm going to tell about that.
Yeah. And by telling you, all of you must have read about it in Roshni. You know, this is the Roshni I have in front of me, April to June 21. This Roshni has a whole episode about how this was conceived by Sheila ji herself. And she talks about how it all began. And I still remember very vividly that we were talking about our first president, Maharani Chimnabai of Baroda, and one scholar, Dr. Sunita Borde of Baroda University. She was already writing a book, and she was looking for certain material from all over the country. And during that process, she came to us, she wrote to us, and that mail reached Sheila ji, and Sheila ji was, you know, and that was the period of lockdown, if you all remember. So we didn't know how to, you know, get material and all. But as you know, AIWC is so enterprising. Our librarian and everyone, they got into action. And now we found out that lecture by Chimnabai, because you, as all of you must have visited the library, everything is very nicely kept and serially. So we provided this lecture, and then the thought appeared that why not call her over for a lecture on Maharani Chimnabai? And that's how the whole process began. Sheila ji being so, energetic and so active about the whole thing, she conceived a big, almost like a seminar. There were 4 speakers and this and that. And then Supriya, our dear Supriya, she created an invite, and we created a title, Ode to Our Past. And this was such a lovely beginning, but so much work was involved, that is amazing. Not just the head office, the branches, then the co-workers, support staff, everyone, they put in their effort, and this whole thing emerged. Sheila ji, as usual, she managed to get speakers for each episode. She would ring up people. She was so well connected, she's already, and she would find out the family. She would find out, members who would want to speak and who were connected with these ladies, and kept on adding up. So the whole, bing bang, we all began rolling. So this is how this ball was set rolling. And then one after the other, these episodes came out. At times, if you remember, there were 2 in a day, because we had to cover 38 of them. And this whole energy that was involved behind this whole scene was the head office, led by Sheila ji. And on the face of it, as I said, it appeared to be an easy job, but it was very time consuming and laborious. And at times we would be reaching a dead end. Although the whole exercise was pleasurable, and the end product was very nice to look at, as all of you know. The best part was that there were scholars and there were members, but the relatives were very cooperative. And at times they would take the lead role in compiling the information and sending the videos and, compiling the whole program, charting out the whole schedule. Just the one thing that emerges is the best part was the COVID lockdown. We all lament about COVID, but this was a good thing that happened for us. And this lockdown and subsequent fallout led to many lifestyle changes. And the members learned to be savvy online. I still remember the initial, hitches, glitches we used to face. But now everyone quickly joins and they're all ready for it. So we all learned to operate these gadgets, and then we got to know the advantages that everyone from far and wide could be reached through this medium. And the best part is, as this is happening all over the world, we can have hybrid mode, and we can continue with this mode even in future. So it was so nostalgic to look back upon, and we are surely going to miss all this, all the preparation, excitement that went along with this exercise. But the best part, as being in charge of the library of AIWC, I feel that we created a very important resource material for future. As a social scientist, some of you are there. As a historian, I can say that we created lovely material. Some of this is rare. The documents and the videos, they are going to be rare. Documentary evidence about these historic ladies. And as we also realized, just in 1947, there was a change in the scenario. So before 47, this is massive work done by the presidents of AIWC, who were also freedom fighters. And they did so much for the country otherwise also. Indeed, all this was possible because we have such a glorious heritage to look back upon. And that's the USP, the unique selling point of AIWC. So it is a 95-year-old organization. I'm sure there's no other organization of this level and caliber anymore. So let's gloat on our past again for the last time. But as Kuljit ji was saying, the ball has been set rolling and this will continue. This is a work in progress to be continued, part 2. So today we end this this whole phase, we can say, and this will continue for the other presidents who are there with us. So let's start the program, and I would like to invite Sheila ji, our president, to give her presidential address. Over to you, Sheila ji.
Yeah. Thank you, Yutika ji. Namaskar. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Namaskar to all my dear sisters and guests who have joined in today's webinar, which will take us on the virtual journey with our 38th president, Mrs. Gomthi Nair, from 2008 to 2010. I extend hearty welcome to all of you. Gomtiji's daughter Meeraji with her husband Ramji are also with us today to share their fond memories. As you all know, Gomtiji was active till recent past and many of us have worked with her very actively. She was a grassroots level worker and understood the plight of the rural women very well. She was a loving and caring person, and you will get to listen to many of her colleagues who have worked with her at different stages. I welcome Mrs. Indira Pillai, her contemporary, patron Mrs. Veena Kohli, Maithili Jagannathan, ex-Secretary General Shivani Mehta, ex-Treasurer Asha Deshpande, Member Trustee Health Trust Dr. K.G. Vijaya Lakshmi, and South Zone B Zonal Organizer Usha Nair, Thankamani Ammaji, Srimati Bhargavi Devendraji, Srimati Krishna Kumari, and few other sisters from Kerala who are going to say pay respects to dear Gomti ji. I'm really happy to note that so many people from Kerala have participated in today's program. Gomti ji in a team had vice presidents Dr. Jaya Kothai Pillai from Chennai, Srimati Rakesh Dhawan, Dehradun, Srimati Geeta Sharat Tiwari from Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, Srimati Mangi Devi from Manipur, and Bhargavi Devendraji from Chennai. Her Secretary General was Shivani Mehta from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and Joint Secretary was Farida Hussain from Hyderabad. Honorary Treasurer was Asha Deshpande, Pune, Maharashtra. During her tenure as President, myself was Zonal Organizer of Western Zone. Gomtiji encouraged me to take up the various projects for the zone like women midi workers, alternative training, herbal garden in the schools, adoption of villages, and we did a good job out of it. I will show some pictures and that are reminding me of all these activities done in those days, between the period of 2008 and 10. Women BD workers in Sinnar, Ahmednagar, and Bid were identified, and awareness was created in them to understand the hazardous consequences of tobacco rolling into formation of BD for long hours on their health. Medical checkups done, and they were taught various other skills like stitching, jam, jelly, and sharbat, pickle making, and marketing. It was a very successful project implemented in 7 states, giving satisfaction to the identified trained groups and to those who worked for that also. Another project of herbal garden in Adivasi schools in Umberthan and Kupudne in Nasik district with the help of standing committee member Mrs. Hemlata Bidkar is also running very fine till today. The school children have named the plants and also the usage of the herbal plant with which they have become big now. The third project was of adoption of village Junoti. I have some few pictures to show you. This is the Western Zone A meeting at Jalgaon. It was organized by Sushila, Dr. Sushila Tai from Chopra. Here you can see Gomti ji as the president, treasurer Asha Deshpande, and patron Shobna Tai, and Shivani ji, Secretary General, is here. And this is Mr. Jain of Tibak Sinchan. Gomthi ji, as President of AIWC, appreciating the Western Zone A conference in Jalgaon in 2009. This is another Western Zone A conference at Goregaon on 10th November 2010. Awareness program for women BD workers in Bid, Maharashtra. Some of the officers who were present to give the awareness program. These are the BD workers identified, and this is one of the alternative vocation that they learn, stitching of the blouses. At another place, we had done stitching of the dresses, salwar suits, etc. And another place we did, in Bid, we did sarbat and jams and jelly and pickle making. This is the herbal garden started in ashram schools of Umberthan and Kukudne village in Taluka Surgana, Nasik district, with the help of Standing Committee member Hemlata Bidkar. This was also started in 2009. And these herbal gardens, this is the old picture, but Mrs. Bidkar told me that still the gardens are well maintained and children are looking after them. Mauze Junoti village in Nasik was adopted in 2010, but we could not do much work in that because of less of funds. This is another program, that is the annual conference of AIWC, when Gomthi ji was president in 2010, and she told me, if you want to do the annual conference, we should do it on the eve, to celebrate eve of the new year. And how do we celebrate it? With big cakes cutting. So we had arranged these lovely memories of that evening we have. You can see Shivani ji here, then Sarojini ji, Gomti ji, Shobna ji here, Manorama ji, Asha Tai, and Geeta ji. Inauguration by lighting of the lamp. You can see the vice presidents at the back. Sarojini ji, Gomti ji is lighting the lamp, and this is the mayor of Mumbai, Shivani ji, Asha Tai. This is the ex-mayor of Mumbai that time, and the chief guest. Release of the souvenir. Gomthi ji, as president of AIWC, appreciating the annual conference hosted by Mumbai branch in 2010. This is for the celebration of 80 years completion of Mumbai branch. You can see Daryawala Vora, Sushila Munshi, and Shakuntala Parekh ji here, along with Gomthi ji. Indian representation at Pan-Pacific Southeast Asian Women's Association Conference in Singapore 2004. Aparna ji was the president that time, and Gomthi ji was the secretary, and she took us, Asha Tai and myself, for this conference in Singapore. After the conference, Yutika ji mentioned quite interesting things about how we started off with this program of Ode to the Great. And I really feel that it is the COVID's gift for us. And we have learned so many things about our presidents. I will not waste time into that because we have a lot of people to give their presentations. I very sincerely appreciate your patience and enthusiasm to be present on time, to listen carefully to all our speakers in the series of Ode to the Glorious Past. Thank you very much for supporting this series of 38 presidents, the era that began in 1927 till 2010. All the episodes paying our sincere tribute to our esteemed presidents who carved the golden path for us and gave us directions. From bottom of my heart, I thank our team consisting of Joint Secretary Supriya Bhalerao for taking initiative in preparing the beautiful invite right from the beginning. Thanks are due to our library team, Ranjana and Sujata, for providing with necessary documents and pictures, headed by Dr. Yutika Mishra ji, member in charge MCM Library, anchoring each show very vividly and perfectly. Thank you, Ritu and Pratibha, our program officers, for the technical support. My gratitude is to my colleagues, Secretary General Fuljiji and Treasurer Rehana ji, for supporting and participating in this series. Thank you very much, all of you, for doing an excellent job of encouraging and appreciating the series. Thank you and wish you good health, happiness, and peace always. Yutika ji, you can take it forward now.
Thank you, Sheila ji. Thank you so much for those encouraging words. I think it's all, the whole credit goes to the head office for providing the inspiration and the energy consistently and so thoroughly. So let's start this program. Now I would like to call upon Mrs. Veena Kohli. And as you would see, this would be divided into segments. So this is the first segment. Mrs. Veena Kohli, we all know she's there, our patron AIWC, and she was also the president earlier. I would request Veena ji, she's going to talk about and share her experiences of working with Mrs. Gomthi Nair. Over to you, Veena ji. Mrs. Veena Kohli, can you hear me? Veena Kohli ji, can you hear me? I think, although she is there, but it's difficult to.
You must be trying to join.
She is there.
She's already there.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'll call
meantime,
her.
yeah. So I would request Mathili ji,
Haan ji.
Yeah, so let's proceed with the program. I think there is some hitch with, as I said initially, this is full of glitches and this is just machinery. So I would like to now invite Mrs. Maithili Jagannathan. She's the coordinator of the Shahadra Crèche of AIWC. She's going to talk about Gomthi ji's work as Secretary General. Over to you, Maithili ji.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. Friends, today I'm bringing before you some facets of Srimati Gomthi Nair's work as Secretary General and her role in international meetings and conferences. Let me first go through her positions in AIWC. Gomthi ji was Assistant Secretary in 1990. Then she became Joint Secretary. She was Vice President in 1999, Secretary General 2002 to 2004. Then she was Member in Charge Estates 2005 to 2007 and became President 2008 to 2010. Afterwards, as patron, she continued to be the trustee of the AIWC Trust, Health Trust. She was a managing trustee for several years. Now, we'll just take up a few aspects of her work because, as we have seen, she was for a long time associated with AIWC. And starting with AIWC's adoption of villages. This made a start in 2003 during the AIWC Platinum Jubilee celebrations in Sadrana, a village in Gurgaon district, It was adopted by AIWC for multifaceted development. Self-help groups were formed to participate in the development programs. Health, food and nutrition, legal rights, awareness camps were held. Training was done for women to make jute bags, and it led to the proficiency in designing, in making bags for sale. A piece of land was acquired by the self-help group, and they did cultivation successfully. There was a remarkable impact on the village community in general and on women in particular, one woman being successfully elected as the Sarpanch. The villages adopted by AIWC for community work and women's empowerment were Komaragiri, Andhra Pradesh, Malappuram, Kerala, Junoti and Varad, Maharashtra, Fatehabad, Narangpur, West Bengal, Sennuru, Tamil Nadu, and Bedi in Gujarat. Yes, seeing some photographs here. Village ladies of Bharat, Maharashtra are being trained in cutting, tailoring, and dressmaking, and they found a ready market for their work. Another project, Junoti, which our president mentioned a little while ago. This was the launch of the Adopted Village project, and we can see Mrs. Asha Deshpande and and Sheila ji is here. So this is the launch of the project in Maharashtra. Next. This was one of the last villages adopted, Komargiri village project, launched in 2010. And this is an area near the very famous textiles of Andhra Pradesh, Opada Textiles. Here the ladies were trained to run textile weaving and coconut oil extraction units. It is still going on very successfully. AIWC's Mobile Helpline and Crisis Intervention Center for Women. This was an innovative project started by AIWC under the prompting of Mrs. Sheila Dikshit, who was Chief Minister of Delhi. She took great interest in this project, and it was given to AIWC for Delhi Commission for Women, DCW. We can see the attention of the audience at the launch of the mobile helpline on 3rd September 2009. The next picture shows Bulbul Das, member in charge for the 24-hour helpline with her team. This innovative project was a unique concept at that time, because to have a 24-hour helpline with a toll-free number, which when dialed would help a distressed woman either by counseling or by being physically rescued and brought to safety, was most innovative and unique. Srimati Bulbul Das was the member in charge. There was a coordinator, 3 counselors on 8-hour duty by rotation. A government vehicle was provided with 3 drivers on similar rotation duty. Legal and psychological counseling was available in the center, which functioned from a room in Bapnughar premises. Now let us see a report of the helpline from August 2009 to May 2010. इसमें आप देखेंगे जो रजिस्टर्ड फोन कॉल जो थे वो 5,245 थे. फिजिकल रेशियो ऑफ विमेन एंड गर्ल्स 25 थे. पुलिस में रजिस्टर हुए केसेस 301 थे और डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस केस
एरिया काउंसलिंग.
Can't hear you, Maithili.
देखा पत्थर कई सं-
Your sound is broken, Maithili ji. Uh, I think we can't hear you now. Maithili?
Our audio connection is very unstable, I think.
Yeah. So, since we can't hear you, Maithili, will you open your video? Okay, I think so. We proceed with this, but she has to stop sharing. Maithili, can you stop sharing your screen?
I think the host can stop sharing by the participant.
I don't have that control. So I think I will call now Veena ji.
Haji.
Veena Kohli.
Yeah,
you're
I'm there. I'm sorry for the.
I think you also had some problem with the,
Yeah,
you
right.
were there, but we could not communicate with you.
No, the internet went off from my
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
So I just.
Now I would request you, Maithili, I think is gone. So I would request you to please speak about your experiences of working with Mrs. Gomthi Nair. Over to you, Mrs. Kohli.
Yeah. Well, good afternoon and namaskar and Guru Purnima ki shubhkamnaएं to everyone. It has been more than 20 years since Gomthi and I worked together when I was treasurer and she was the secretary general. So I had to really put on my thinking cap in trying to recall those days. And while I was recalling those days, I remembered one of my first memories of Gomthi, which I would like to share with you all. It's a very interesting incident which I was part of and which Gomthi ji was part of that. Many years ago, I think it was way back in the 90s, when she had come to Delhi and she was either the assistant secretary or she was the joint secretary. I don't remember exactly which year it was, but it was a summer month and she had come to Delhi and we were all together in AIWC. I was member in charge computers. I did not know her well at that time, but I remember that day very well. It was the first rainfall in Delhi and everyone was feeling good. And it was lunchtime. And I saw Gomthi ji gather some of the staff and some of us members in the corridor of the AIWC office. She made us into a stance of a titli, like crossing the hands and holding the hands of the partner, a typical rural way of rejoicing. So she did the same and she danced and she sang. She sang a song they sing in Kerala when the rain comes. The English version was something like this. I vaguely remember, but I would like to relate it to you. It said something like this: "Oh dear rain, we welcome you and love you like the sun and the moon. Keep coming again and again," etc., etc. And so on, she sang. So that was Gomthi ji. That was my first introduction to her. And later on, I realized that she was really a natural person, and she expressed what she felt, and that is how she lived. Her life was a happy life, very straightforward, and she always reacted in a spontaneous, frank manner, like the dance she performed. So that was many, many years ago. Later on, when I got to know her better, when we started working together, I realized that she was a very controlled person, very traditional, disciplined. She never hesitated to speak her mind frankly, though, and honestly. And she would very clearly call a spade whenever required. During the 3 years when I worked as the AIWC treasurer, she was the secretary general, and Dr. Aparna Basu was the president. We had a very harmonious relationship, respecting each other's view, but always discussing matters of concern. I learned a lot from the two of them. A lot of work was done by her, and she truly did justice to her responsibilities, such as administration, education, branches, programs, legal work, etc., etc. One of the very significant programs I remember was the renewal of the socio-economic income generating program for the branches, as Asha Deshpande would recall. It started with a grant of $10,000 from the Asian Development Bank for setting up a solar dryers at the head office and the branches. And this was especially for strengthening the branches economically. This, again, was our introduction to the mango jelly and the aam papad, which we have all enjoyed, and many other products which were used in the solar dry. I, for one, always bought the aam papad and brought it home, and my family really loved it very much. So this was really a brainchild of Gomthi ji. Furthermore, we worked on this project and designed a program to give the branches an interest-free loan to start income generating programs and pay back the loan with very easy installments. This again was a very futuristic onward program to have started more than 20 years ago. And it is still being continued, and it is a very successful program as far as I remember. We never had any defaults. All the loans were paid back well, and it is still going on with AIWC. Another very significant program, I can say, which was really a part of her life, and that was the Ayurveda. This was a system she followed all her life, and it proved very sustainable for her as she lived a very healthy life till the age of 98. She had learned a lot. She was very knowledgeable, and she often used to give us medicines. In fact, it rubbed on to me also. Until now, I prefer to follow the Ayurveda, and I take a lot of Ayurveda medicines for various ailments. And she also set up Ayurveda Center at the head office, which was called the Dhanvantariyam. I don't know if you remember, but these are all memories coming back to me. And later, this center was amalgamated with the Vocational Institute of AIWC. And thus, to benefit all, it became a learning center for students of Ayurveda, and also is used as a treatment center for members, staff, and others. The center was well qualified with doctors and experienced staff, and I think it is still continuing if I'm not wrong. And even I, for many years, used it for, and I consulted the doctors, and in fact, we had a few lectures from her about the use of Ayurveda. So this was a great contribution by Gomthi ji. There were many other activities that she and Dr. Basu started, such as adoption of village, Sadrana, encouraging education, funding needy schools, visiting branches, organizing meetings and conferences, and attending invitations from embassies and creating good relations. We often used to go in the evening and go to the receptions where we were invited. And one such was the Chinese, who were really impressed by all of us. And later on, they sent us a lot of funding and computers and many other items. So that was also part of a contribution to AIWC. I also traveled a lot with Dr. Basu and with her. She would always make it a point to take me to some of the places in India. And also we went together to this IAW meeting in Freiburg in Germany, which was a very memorable visit. I think can go on and on talking about it, but all I can say was that it was Gomthi ji who was responsible for taking all of us, and also she was participating in the conference and she addressed the gathering, the international gathering, and her speech was very well received. Maithili will tell you more, as she was already telling you all the details. For me, working with her was very pleasant. And I found her as a very happy and a very sincere person, hardworking and passionately devoted to AIWC and social work. I mean, that was her life, actually, AIWC. She was also very generous, but conservative. She handled people very tactfully, never an ill word about anyone, and she was very wise and humble. And the best quality of hers was that she always remained calm under any condition. I never saw her losing her temper, ever. She was always very calm. She was simple in her food habits. She grew a few vegetables at the AIWC garden, along with some medicinal plants. She would cook her own food and also share it with us. These medicinal gardens were promoted, as I think Sheilaji just told us, how they were promoted all over the country with all the branches. She was always immaculately dressed, very avid shopper of saris. She would wear crisp cottons and lovely silks, and always wore her coral and gold mala. If you remember, I remember it very well, that coral and gold mala of hers. It was beautiful. She always celebrated festivals. And I remember the Onam festival, which she celebrated at AIWC, one of the Onam festivals. She distributed sweets and she would organize games for us and then give prizes. One of the favorite games was throwing lemons into a basket from a distance. And whoever won, that means whoever threw the maximum number of lemons, would get the prize. And the prize was 1 kilo of lemons to the winner. After 3 years of a formal but a happy relationship, we became very good friends after that. And we were constantly in touch with each other. I had learned so much with her, and I always had a lot of regard for her. Surely, I will always remember her with great respect and great affection. Thank you so much for listening to me. And I'm very sorry for that interruption of the network. I had a network problem and the computer
That's okay,
suddenly
Veena
stopped.
ji. This happens, yeah. This
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
think
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think
It
the
is-
head office is cut off due to
Is
internet
it?
problem. Yes, I don't
Oh.
see any of them, but doesn't matter. The recording is going
Yeah,
on. We
let's
can
continue.
continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Kohli. I mean,
We are very much there listening to everything.
Acha, yeah.
Okay, we couldn't see you till now.
Okay.
I know,
Just
but now you
joined
can
in.
see. We
Yeah.
were listening to Mrs.
Yeah.
Kohli's all the stories about
Yeah.
the dance and
Oh.
music of Mrs. Gomthi Nair and how she used to
Okay.
celebrate the festivals and throwing the lemon and giving the basket of lemon. We were listening to everything.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
Thank you. Let's
But
proceed with the program.
how about
Let's
Maithili
proceed.
ji's?
Can I share now?
Is there? Yeah.
Only audio, please, because no video.
It's okay, fine. You
Okay.
can
Okay.
go ahead with that. And Veena
Thank
ji,
you.
the best part was the butterfly dance you did in the rain.
Yeah, I also, I don't know how I remembered it, but I certainly,
Okay.
it was,
Give me a
yeah.
I wish we could do more of that in AIWC.
Next
Lovely.
one.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over to you, Maithili.
Thank you, Yutika ji. So we were looking into a few aspects of her work, and one of the very important things during her time was the starting of women's self-help groups, which already have been mentioned by some of our speakers. And this became something different which AIWC started, and most likely it was a result of the 2001 conference, International Asia Pacific Conference of Microcredit Council Summit, which was held in Delhi, because that started women's empowerment through microcredit. So many programs were discussed and international meetings were held. And even in Delhi, there were training programs and discussions with countries from Nepal, Bangladesh, so many others participating. So as a result of AIWC's efforts and coordination, a number of self-help groups were formed in the country, and they have many successful, remarkable success stories. से पहले का देख सकते हैं?
Can you do
So
this in
countrywide-
PPT mode, Ritu, if you're there?
Yes.
PPT? Can you
PPT.
make it a presentation?
हाँ, PPT नहीं दिख रहा?
No, we can just see the slides, but in the mode, you can make it.
Oh, ये दिख
Yeah,
रहा है.
we can make it into a
Okay.
slideshow.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is fine. Yeah. Go ahead.
So just to mention a few, an international seminar on decentralized power and electricity generation was held in Delhi by AIWC. There was collaboration with Infosys, South Asia, INSIDA, and other leaders in renewable energy applications, and attended by delegates from so many agencies in Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and branches of AIWC in northern India. This led to, as you can see, it was a very lengthy process. A lot of hard work was done by everyone. So national and regional and state level workshops were then held to form the women self-help groups, to give them training, to find out what vocations and training they could do, then to get networking with government departments, NABARD, banks, local NGOs, and again supply of solar cookers, solar dryers, portable lights, and domestic solar equipment, which women's groups could use for commercial purposes. Next. Thus, women self-help groups became active partners in accessing microcredit for viable enterprises. Among many remarkable success stories from branches are of self-help groups taking solar lighting to villages far, far away from electricity grids. Recognizing the work in this area by Trivandrum branch, the Ministry of Power Kerala entrusted them with the training of trainers in renewable energy in all 14 districts of the state. This was a real success story of AIWC. Now we come to leadership in international fora and exchange programs. You can see the photograph of the AIWC delegation at the Global NGO Forum meeting, New York, in 2010. Mrs. Gomthi Nair. Next, please. Next. Mrs. Gomthi Nair chaired the session on renewable energy and women, and Mrs. Kalpagam Yechuri made a presentation on development programs for women, integrating microcredit with water, sanitation, waste management, and renewable energy. There was a meeting in 28th February 2010 in New York, the Global NGO Forum meeting. We saw the photograph just a little while ago. Mrs. Gomthi Nair led the delegation, which included Treasurer Mrs. Asha Deshpande, Member in charge Bapnughar, Mrs. Kuljeet Kaur, to this meeting, which set targets for NGO participation towards the UN Millennium Goals. 25th to 31st July 2010, a 7-member NGO delegation led by Srimati Gomthi Nair visited Shanghai and Beijing at the invitation of the All India and Shanghai Women's Federation for a week study of women's empowerment programs. A Chinese women's team came on a return visit in the same year. I think we saw the photograph in the previous slide. 25th to 30th September 2010, REN 11th meeting. REN is the World Renewable Energy. So Abu Dhabi, Mrs. Gomthi Nair gave a presentation on micro enterprise and microfinance development in India and chaired the session. AIWC's experience in equitable development of gender and energy. Mrs. Kalpagam Yeshuri, MIC, Water, Sanitation and Waste Management, read a paper on women as sustainable development managers.
Thank you. Thank you, Mathili.
Just 1 minute, Jyotika.
Okay.
एक लास्ट स्लाइड देखा दे, इसके बाद एक स्लाइड आगे इसके आगे नेक्स्ट
7 members.
ये well friends, that was an account of the different types of work in which Gomthi ji made a big contribution right from grassroots programs up to international levels. गोमती जी में ये बात थी कि उन्हें महिलाओं को खुशहाल देखना, महिलाओं के अच्छे भविष्य, इस पर उनको बहुत विश्वास था और बहुत इच्छा थी, बल्कि उनके एक तरह का मिशन भी था कि एक लक्ष्य बना दिया था उन्होंने कि जीवन में कि महिलाओं के लिए जो कुछ भी कर सके, उन्हें उनके दुख दर्द हटा दें, उन्हें एक अच्छी जीवन दे दें। इस लक्ष्य को लेके वो चलती थी और चलती रही। Thank you very much, friends. I want to thank Sheila ji for the wonderful initiative she has taken and for always giving us motivation and help in continuing with this series, making us look into the past and finding important lessons in the events of the past. My thanks to Sujata and to Ranjana, who have been so helpful in all the work, helping to prepare this PowerPoint and get all the information required. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mathili. Thank you. Indeed, the dignity and self-respect of women is at the topmost, even on at the AIWC agenda, and we all abide by that vision also. Now we go over to the second segment of this program, where I would request Dr. Asha Deshpande ji to give her presentation on Mrs. Gomthi Nair as the AIWC president. So the earlier segment was pre-presidentship, and now we are going to talk about her period as the president of AIWC. Dr. Asha Deshpande ji is member in charge of socio-economic projects at New Delhi. She was the treasurer when Gomthi ji was the president. Over to you, Asha ji. And she will be followed by Shivani Mehta ji. Shivani Mehta ji will speak after her. Shivani Mehta ji was former Secretary General of AIWC.
Can you show the PPT?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
I'll show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I can just read and tell the things.
Sure.
Do you see it?
A little bit big one so that I can
Yeah,
read.
sure.
Little
Yeah.
bit.
Presentation. Yeah, this is fine.
Yes, thank you. Our beloved ex-president, late Srimati Gomthi ji Nair, Shraddhanjali. This has been made for me myself for the Shivani and myself. Our work experience with Gomthi ji. Gomthi ji was a grassroots worker and never showed any domination on both of us. We three were from three different states, different languages, different nature in all the respects. Still, for all the 3 years, we stayed together with the full confidence and enjoyed our stay. She always saw that the most important issues should be solved amicably. Her target was during the tenure, maximum branches should be benefited and maximum women should be economically and status wise empowered. Next slide. She was very keen that all the projects should be within our aims and objectives, and hence our work was distributed as under. She would keep proposals, and we three would discuss it. And if administration was involved, branches to be contacted, then Shivani would deal with it. When financial involvement was there, she was alert the work to me. Regarding foreign conferences, workshops, Shivani was not interested, and hence she had given me that chance. And whenever she desired, she also accompanied me. Those were CSW 2010 and 60 years friendship meet with China. Next. Startup position. After taking over the charge, it was observed that Aga Khan Hall, which is our main income source, was totally in deplicated stage at Delhi, as Delhi Corporation has issued a stay order. Gomthi ji was very nervous, but she took it seriously, and every day she used to go to the corporation office, and after the rigorous follow-up of 3 months, the stay was lifted and the construction work was started. It took another 6 months to complete the work. It was also found that that time that our firefighting system had totally collapsed and all the cylinders were empty. For this situation, father of late Harinder Kaur, Vikaspuri branch, helped us a lot and all the work was done in order. Next. Next slide. During the tenure, the various programs designed and successfully done. Anemia project for 1 year was designed so as to rule out to the maximum extent. BD workers project in 7 states with the help of WHO for health checkup, and we made another project for alternative activity for earning along with it. WHO has praised AIWC for successful program and beautiful project report. Opening of community college for various skills like cutting, tailoring, beauty parlor, and Kerala massage center. Mrs. Kalyani also brought skill training program of computers and beauty
Asha,
parlor.
can't hear you.
Huh? How?
We can all hear you.
We can
I think
hear you,
Shivani ji, something wrong at your end.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
You proceed.
Mrs. Kalyani also brought skill training program of computers and beauty parlor for SCST girls at Rithala. Next. Regarding awareness of computer operation, the program was made and computers were allotted to the branches on the basis of 25% investment of the branch and 75% of the head office. Head office has made arrangement of supply to keep the uniformity. Adoption of villages program was done in Maharashtra, Kolkata, Kerala, that is Peruvaram, Padam, tribal colony in Nilambo and Rajkot. 24 hours helpline program was started. Other skill development program, that is Women on Wheels, was done by Vikaspuri branch. Construction of new hall, audio visual hall for the meetings. Next. Socio-economic program for Guntur branch for smokeless chula. Ayurveda medicine preparation program given to one direct doctor for purchase of machinery. At Nilampur, she was having two SHG group. One was in tribal area, used to bring raw material like different roots, fruits, and leaves, etc. And the other was working in the clinic to make the medicine out of it. Next. Gomthi ji had allotted the work of renewal of rental agreements with the tenants to me. They were paying very meager rent as compared to the area and location. We had a very heavy discussion with the bankers. We could convince them and finally got good rate and the income of the rent increase in multiples. AIWC's website was also not in existence. That was also developed. Next. Next, why the trust formation was required. Receiving rent is a regular process and income had increased every year. Hence, the auditor has given us the warning to spend at least 75% to 80% on the programs. Otherwise, income tax department would treat the organization as a commercial and then had to pay heavy income tax. Hence, it was decided to form 3 trusts of our major activities of the aims such as education, health, old age, for having separate programs to design and work. For this special standing meeting was called and detailed note on the topic was presented. Next. Staff matters. In the accounts department, for the smooth and fast working Tally 9 software was installed. New computers were allotted to all the desks. Salary revision was made. 3 court cases were solved and disposed of. Out of that, one of which was long in labor court since 1997. That was 10%, 20% increase given to the staff. Next. This is Passiva conference at Singapore. Our president has already shown, but I am having this photo, so I'm showing this. Gomthi ji, Aparna ji, and the ambassador Sheila ji, and myself. Next. This was a very nice program. They said that you have to sing the song, but we have performed our national anthem on that day. Next. Inauguration of community college. This was for the community college and we have inaugurated it. Next. Some photos with Shivani, Secretary General, zonal meetings. Next. 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 This was my Yachuri Amma's birthday celebration. We did it at our office. Next, Yachuri madam was very much fond of Gomthi ji, and Gomthi ji was having a very good relation with Amma. This is Captain Annapurna and all, they were in the meeting. Next. This was also one of the meeting that this meeting was at Singapore, the first photo, and the second was we were at Faridabad and having some what I can say, the entertainment program at there, and we were enjoying there. Next. This is our CSW 2010, where we have attended the CSW. These are the photos. The first photo, the Gomthi ji, then Kulchi ji, then Sudha Acharya, then Dr. Vijaya Lakshmi, and that is, I don't remember her name now.
Tarabai from Chennai.
Tarabai from Chennai. She also accompanied us. And the next photo, we were enjoying the coffee. Then the third was with the AIW program. And the fourth was we were just there in the meeting. Next. This was the adoption of village and in the Kerala, and Gomthi ji went for the opening of that village. Vijaya, Gomthi ji, and the other people from the area, they were there. Next, special standing committee meeting, opening of trust. All the patrons were sitting. Shivani was also sitting there, and in the first photo, Shobhanath, I was talking. In the next photo, we were just hearing her. Next. This was the handing over charge to the new team, new President Binaji, Captain Annapurna, Ashida, and the three of us in our traditional dress. Next. My personal experience with her. When I was elected as an honorary treasurer in 2008, she hardly knew me. She kept on observing me and my work. When she realized my efficiency, she completely relied on me. Whenever issues regarding money or any other matter, she used to talk to me about the work. And the work of making notes and was allotted to me. My presentation on how to read the balance sheet, income and expenditure statements, and how the budget is to be compared with the actuals and follow it was appreciated very much. All the patrons and the members also appreciated. She also asked me to make notes on the financial data with the full details for special meeting which was called for forming the trust. Finally, the formation of the trust was approved. Next. She always took great care and gave me first preference to go home as my husband was staying alone. Whenever she used to go, she always brought gift for me. In the evening, she used to cook her own food and always keep some portion for me to test. When I met her in Trivandrum, she gave me her new sari and told that this is for you. The last I met her in Bangalore at the daughter's place. She hugged me and said that, Asha, I want you should become president. Next. Tribute to Gomthi ji. When I heard the news that she passed away, I could not control myself. I never met such person who loved me so much. She worked very hard for women to become self-dependent. I am sure the God must have given her a place next to him. our wholehearted pranam to such holy soul, Asha Deshpande, Shivani Mehta. Thank you so much for everybody and the head office that they have given me this opportunity to talk to you about my beloved president. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashaji. Thank you so much. So well illustrated and truly emotional tribute to a great lady with whom I'm sure you were so connected, so close to her. That is obvious. And thank you, Shivani ji, to you too. I'm sure this must have been a great team, the three of you together. So now we go over to the next talk of today's program, that is by Dr. K.G. Vijayalakshmi. She is trustee Health Trust. She's going to talk about patron Gomthi Nair's work at Trivandrum. And she would be joined by Mrs. Krishna Kumari. As we all know, Dr. Vijayalakshmi, she is trustee of the Health Trust currently. She's also a social scientist and has produced a PhD, women's studies specialist, and development
I
specialist.
can't hear you.
Is that
Isn't Shivani Mehta going to speak?
I
She
can't hear
actually
you.
Yeah,
Can you
actually,
hear
are
me?
you speaking?
it's
Are you
Shivani ji. She's going to speak now, Shivani ji.
okay?
Ji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Oh, then you can go ahead. You have to speak now.
You can go because we all are hearing you.
I can't hear you.
My God. Well, there is a problem
to
on
do?
your side. You can speak, Shivani ji. It's
What
your
to
turn.
do? I can't hear you.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Shivani,
yes,
you can
Yes, we
start.
can. Please go ahead and talk,
You go ahead.
Shivani ji.
Oh, that's a unique problem. You speak. You go ahead. Or you can rejoin. Maybe you can leave and rejoin. She can't hear. No.
Oh, Ram.
Yes, you
I
can
can't
leave
hear
and join
you.
again. That's a good idea.
What
She
to
can't
do?
hear.
Please leave and join again.
Oh, she can't hear. Na. वो कैसे बताया?
I think we should call her.
So will you do that?
Yeah.
Meantime, shall we move with the next speaker?
Yes.
Yeah, so that we save on time. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so Dr. Vijayalakshmi, I would request you to make your presentation. You're going to show a PPT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over to you.
I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me first congratulate the President, Mrs. Sheila Kakade, and her entire team for initiated such a webinar for commemorate our past patrons. You know how much insights we members got after listening all those webinars. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mrs. Gomthi Nair, our patron and an extraordinary visionary. Next slide, please. Yeah, my association with Gomthi Nair started when she was turning 80, right after she became the president of AIWC. Working with her was the most enlightening experience I ever had. She had a treasure trove of experience in her life. She used it to wisely guide the organization. Guiding the organization remained her fundamental goal and purpose until the end of her life. She was active in AWC until her last days, taking part in all programs and initiatives. Next slide, please. Next slide. After her presidency, she actively involved in major 3 programs in Kerala: Oki, flood, and health programs. During the time of Oki, the natural calamity happened. families who were living in the coastal area lost their husbands, sons, and many close relatives who were supporting their family's livelihood. Mrs. Nair was eager to visit many times in the coastal area and supported them not only with the food
leave the
but
meeting and
met their
join
education and the day-to-day
leave the
expenditure.
meeting and
I
join
used to
again.
pick up from her residence if I am late. She called many times and eagerly waiting to see me to go there. At the time of flood relief, but that flood happened in Kerala. During that time, she was very, very worried, and that actually she was even desperate, desperate during that time. Gomthi Nair reconstructed three. Next slide, please. She reconstructed three workshops for women who were working in the weaving industry in Chendamangalam. She personally visited the weaving colony. Next slide, please. She personally visited the weaving colony where the women lost their workshop, taris, and its accessories. Even though she was not very healthy, visit the place around 260 kilometers in one side away from Trivandrum city 2 times. Next slide, please. Swasthya Sudhar Village. Coming to Swasthya Sudhar Village program, she was highly concerned about the health aspects of women. And we could remember the anemia program, how much she was interested to implement in AIWC. Once she became assumed the charge as managing trustee of Health Trust, immediately she formulated a project known as Swasthya Sudhar Village Program for needy and elderly women. She used to visit the branches in Kerala who were having this project in many times. Next slide, please. She was an inspiration for youngsters. As a patron, Gomthi Nair was deeply involved in empowering youngsters through branches. She was tireless in her effort to give opportunity to youth and equip them with the skill sets needed to take women's movements into greater heights. He used to be very happy when she come to the meeting, when she see the youngsters. So if she informs us she wants to visit the branches, immediately we invite all the youth and youngsters. And she was happy when she saw all the young people in front of her. She was extremely honest and straightforward with the people who worked under her, never giving any wrong idea of the challenges and the ways we needed to improve ourselves. She very often expressed these views in her discussion with branch people. She never ever manipulates facts. Next slide, please. Next slide. Her association with the Lakshmi and Menon. Gomthi Nair was closely associated with the Lakshmi and Menon, often calling her Edati, means elder sister. Gomthi Nair was mentored by Lakshmi and Menon, who guided her to commit herself into the social service of women. During her lifetime, Lakshmi and Menon would attend all the meetings in Kerala organized by Gomthi Nair. Next slide, please. Lakshmi and Menon contributed greatly to Gomthi Nair's understanding of external affairs and international situation of women. This, along with her own experience of international affairs from her husband, would shape her acumen of international women's movement, which she enriched during her tenure as the president of AIWC. She often discussed these matters, these issues and incidents with the members of the branches when she participated in the meeting, and she shared many stories she learned from Lakshmi and Menon. In short, Lakshmi and Menon mentored another president in AIWC. Next. Gomthi Nair was an avid reader. She voraciously read newspapers, magazines, books, and watch national and international news every day. As a result, she had a deeply interdisciplinary mind which would look for solutions of the world in the confluence of best scholarship of various intersecting fields. She shared these type of discussions when we invited her as a patron for the interaction of young members from our branches as well as outside. Next, she was amply aware that to steer the next generation into a progressive direction that stood for the empowerment of women. It needed to be politically literate and stand in support for social justice and the progressive constitutional values of India.
Hello. Can you hear?
She has her own opinion.
Yes. Gomthi was a grassroots social worker, founder president.
She had her own opinion regarding the national and international issues. The branch members were fortunate to listen her discussions related to national and international issues. As part of this, she took great effort to educate her juniors in the organization and to consistently strive to reach the correct political understanding of various issues during her stay in Trivandrum. Whenever she attended the meeting, she was so interested to discuss the current affairs, what all things happened the past 1 week in the newspaper. So the youngsters were eager to wait her meeting and attend the meeting quite often. Next. Yeah, she was a nature lover, often spending significant portions of her time exploring new plants, collecting various saplings and plants while traveling also, and closely observing and enjoying the nature. I could remember an incident when we attended a half-yearly meeting in Kakinada. So along with the Kalpaha Vechuri madam, we visited 2-3 nurseries there. And she purchased more than 12 pots, 12 plant pots from there. And Judy madam was accusing her like that. Why Gomthi wanted to buy all the, it is heavy weight, more than 15 kg something. And due to my small thinking, small mind, I also thinking that how will we carry all the luggages, weights to Trivandrum. But when we reached the hotel, we saw Banimati madam from Kakinada branch. She was waiting outside. Then she called Banimati madam and asked her to get somebody from the hotel to help the luggage. Then everything was put in her room, and I saw she invited another person from the hotel and asked him to remove all the sands and put everything. She put all the 12, it was half flowered rose plants and put it in a small cover and make it as 3 or 4 kg. Surprisingly, after 2 weeks, I visited her plants, and she said, we will visit the garden. She took me to the garden. That is the common garden area. She occupied a small place, and all the 12 rose plants were there with full of flowers. Then she said, you and Echuri scolded me like anything. Now you see the plants. Then I thought that Gomthi madam, took the fragrance from Kakinada to Trivandrum. And that was she. She was an enthusiastic gardener and had deep love for flowers. She was a progressive thinker, enabling AIWC to take a leading role in launching policy advocacy for progressive causes during her tenure and also after her tenure in her own capacity. And Asha Deshpande explained the formation of trust, and she called for a special standing committee meeting, that story and all. And next slide, please. Yeah, she was an embodiment of love and affection. There is no doubt about it. Gomthi Nair was always empathetic towards marginalized community and supported them in many ways. As she got old, she showed mood swings at times and often harsh in the way she expressed her opinions. But this she matched up with her energy and active participation in all AWC work until the end of her days. Even when she struggled, she always held deep love for the people who worked under her and always acted out of love and empathy. In this occasion, I could remember Shanda Chechi from Samyukta, and three of us traveled kilometers and kilometers. And she used to buy even saris from Aga Khan Hall in Delhi. Even wherever traveled, whatever she buys, she will buy for us also. And personally, I enjoyed her love, affection, and mentorship. She was more than a mother to me. Next slide, please. Gomthi Nair was aware that the development of a more equitable world hinged on the emergence of women as a social, political, and economic force in all spheres. Throughout her discussions, she used it to express those kinds of views with women groups. Her vision was to raise women into a pressure group that is capable of influencing the society and various social and political institutions towards a resolutely progressive direction. She dedicated her life to advancing this vision by building AWC. Next slide, please. Next slide. And these are some of the pictures. Mrs. Indira Ramakrishna Pillai, she was one of her best friend. And the next one was when she was president. This is Bhargavi madam. Then Shivani madam. This is, she was inaugurating the Peruvambadan colony adoption program. The next slide. Next slide. These are her mother and sisters. Then this is with the Echuri madam. This myself, Gomthi madam and Krishna Kumari. And this actually she extended support for education when she was the president of AWC also. This also from Nilambur. Next slide. Great pranamam, Gomthi ji. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Vijayalakshmi. Mrs. Krishna Kumari would like to speak now. Mrs. Krishna Kumari.
Do you want to take up Shivani ji? She was
Or
coming
let's
on the
finish
line.
this.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
finish this segment. Is she there, Krishna Kumari ji? Are you there? No, I don't think she's there. So I think we can have Shivani ji now. Shivani ji? I can't see her. Shivani ji, are you there again?
She has not rejoined, Yutika, and I think Krishna Kumari also probably is not there. She got disconnected.
Okay.
Vijayalakshmi,
So
can you speak to Krishna Kumari and find out?
Yes,
Please?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So shall we move on with the program? Yeah, Krishna Kumari ji can join after Mrs. Archana Nair is there with us.
Yes, ma'am.
She is going to read out an article written by Mrs. Indira Ramakrishna Pillai, a member of the Trivandrum branch. This article is called Memories of Mrs. Gomthi Nair. Mrs. Archana Nair is an engineering graduate. Presently, she is the president of the youth branch of AIWC at Chirai and Kid. Over to you, Archana ji. You will read out.
Thank you, Yutika, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, you are
Yes,
audible,
yes, you are.
Archana. Usha ji, can we see Amma?
I'll just see if I can switch on the
Yeah.
camera because she is
Yeah.
watching it. I'll see if I can.
Yeah.
But you proceed
Yeah.
with the reading, Archana.
Okay.
Archana.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. I am Archana Nair, President Youth Constituent Branch, AIWC Chirangere. Last 6 years, I was coordinating the youth activities of AIWC Chirangere branch. By that time, I got many opportunities to associate with Gomthi Nair ma'am. In fact, I was coordinating the youth activities of the main branch and constituent branches, including their adolescent programs and various other programs. Last 2 years, when I got permission to start the youth branch, I was nominated as the president. And speaking about Gomthi ma'am was a person who was always interested to escalate and bring the young generation to AIWC platform. She used to give in her 100% to whatever she undertakes. She used to attend our monthly programs till the outbreak of COVID-19. She was a great soul. She will live in our hearts forever. With these words, now I come to the article written by Indira Ramakrishna Pillai ma'am in Roshni about Gomthi Nair ma'am. Memories of a Friendship Spanning Decades by Indira Ramakrishna Pillai ma'am, President, AIWC, Thiruvananthapuram branch. Gomthi had been my friend for several decades before we started working together in AIWC. She had been my senior in college, my sister's batchmate. We would see her at the dance school set up by the famed dancers Guru Gopinath and his wife Tankamani, who were close friends of my father. Gomthi was a student of Guruji and learned dance and music at their residential school. Later, she got married and moved away from Kerala with her journalist husband, Sri Raghavan Nair. She also took up a job in the Central Social Welfare Board. On her retirement from the service, the couple moved back to Kerala. Sri Nair headed the PTI office in Kerala. Gomthi joined AIWC Trivandrum branch as a member. She attended the Nagpur session as the standing committee member from Trivandrum. She met Mrs. Lakshmi and Menon and soon became her constant companion and assistant. Srimati Lakshmi and Menon was close to the family as well. In fact, she preferred to celebrate her 80th birthday with Gomthi and family in Shastamkota rather than attend a big event that her friends and prominent citizens of Trivandrum planned to organize in the city on that day. Gomthi traveled with Mrs. Menon for all the sessions of AIWC and became an integral part of the organization. She was fluent in Hindi and that was to her advantage. I remember how excited she was about her first trip abroad with Mrs. Ashok Gupta, the then AIWC president. Later, she was to visit several countries, spreading messages about AIWC's work. Gomthi started Kerala Aikya Mahila Samajam in her native village of Shastamkota and got affiliation with AIWC. She worked among the poor women in the area and took up a number of welfare activities. When Mrs. Lalita Balakrishnan conducted a massive program of smokeless cookstoves and biogas across the country, Gomthi and the late Srimati Meenakshi Ramakrishnan of AIWC Alve branch took up the mission with zeal and were instrumental in making the program a grand success in Kerala. Gomthi was a dedicated and sincere member of AIWC. She was a meticulous worker. When she organized meetings, conferences, and seminars, she could be seen personally supervising all arrangement down to the smallest detail. She was methodical in her work and could get along with people with ease and affection. My long association with her, spanning several decades, stays fresh in my memory. With this, I come to the end of the article. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And this article, I would like to tell you, it's in this Roshni of January and March 2022.
Okay.
Can you see Indira Amma?
Yes.
This article has come in Roshni,
Yeah,
January to March.
I would like a copy of that, please, Sheila ji.
Sure, you will get it.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
I'll
you.
send it to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Archana Nair, for that lovely reading. Yeah. Now I would like to invite Shivani Mehta ji. Are you there now? Shivani ji?
Yutika ji,
Yutika
एक
ji,
मिनट
one
इंदिरा
minute.
जी को हमें विश
Yeah,
करने दो
Indira ji
I'm
is here.
here.
Indira
इंदिरा जी
is here.
नमस्कार
Namaskar, Amma.
Yeah, she can hear, but
She can hear, na?
नमस्कार
Yeah.
कैसे हैं आप आपको देख के बहुत अच्छा
हाँ,
लग रहा है
Very nice to see you. बहुत अच्छा
लग रहा है
We
Very
also want to see Indira ji.
She is there.
She is very much there.
She is very much there. I'll pin her. 1 minute.
oh, now I think now they have disconnected. You can, yeah, she's here. You can see.
She's here. I've
only.
pinned
I
her.
can see her.
Yeah. Nice to see her, Usha. Very happy to see her. Right.
But she has gone very weak.
Yeah, she,
Smiling
her
away.
voice is very
Must
feeble.
have been
Otherwise, she
above
herself would have read
98.
out this article.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Usha. Thank you so much for showing her on the video.
Kulji, thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, Yutika, move on.
Yeah. So now I would like to invite Shivani ji. Shivani
Yeah.
ji, you can speak now, please.
Yeah,
Over to you.
thank you. Gomthi ji was a grassroots social worker, founder president of Kolon branch, president for a long time, and then patron. She started coming to AIWC as standing committee member with Dr. Lakshmi Menon. She was not an academician nor career-oriented woman. Her focus was only and only on AIWC and women empowerment. As Asha has said, Aga Khan Hall was again put in the working condition. But according to me, it was not only by God's grace, but her long stay in Delhi, long association with AIWC, good contacts and friendly relation with her paid her the dividend. Regarding the court cases, which Asha has mentioned, I will add one more thing, that the compromising proposal was of rupees 5 lakh for each 57 members. But it is a credit to Gomthi ji that finally it was settled in 50,000 each and union was totally dissolved. 50,000 family insurance was also taken afterwards for all the employees. AIWC was like a family. It was her next family. And so she tried to avoid future problems. Pay scale was also fixed. When we had that, there was our warden and mess manager, Mrs. Pascal, had given her resignation. Before 1 year it was given. It was advertised thrice, but no one was ready to work at this pay scale. So thereafter, every year 1 or 2 persons retirement was due, and so fixed pay scale was the only solution to avoid the future problems, and it was done. Though our problem was solved at that time, that as retiring lady Purnima accepted the job, but to avoid the future problem, she fixed the scale. Regarding trust, as we all know that ours is a public charitable trust, but it was dissolved in 1993 when Shobhna ji was president. And for 15 years, Shobhna ji, Kunti ji, Kalavati ji, Aparna ji, Manorama ji, they all tried their level best, but for one or the other reason, cannot form it again. So it is a credit for Gomthi ji to have 3 trusts. So the founder president is Bina ji, who is newly elected at that time. Again, I like to add one more thing. It is because of big budgeted, lots of programs and projects sanctioned to branches, increased in the zonal expense. Third AC fare was sanctioned to all the standing committee members. Family insurance of the staff, AIWC. Because of all this, AIWC was out of the danger to fall in the category of business organization and save from the very high taxes. Other noteworthy work was to do permanent arrangement for our half-yearly meetings in our own campus. Keeping this in mind, renovation work of dormitory, repairing of guest rooms on each floor, shifting computer classes in the cellar, and 2 rooms in the trustee house was done. Community college was the dream of our previous Secretary General, Jaya Pillai. Almost all the paperwork was done, but she cannot start it. So Gomthi ji took it ahead and community college was started under IGNOU. It was said not only for Gomthi ji, but all three of us that you do not maintain the decorum of your post. You should maintain some distance with others. But that our friendly relation got good response. We all three were living out of our home, away from our home and family, and they all give us family warmth and wholehearted support. Binaji, I will remember that once I have broken my finger, and at that time, I was taking treatment, as Gomthi ji has told, that let us have this in our Ayurveda center. I was doing it. But when Binaji came in the office, at that time all were going to come and we all were sitting together and taking a cup of tea together. So when she came, she saw my hand and she said, have you taken any X-ray? I said, no, I'm taking treatment in the Ayurveda center. Then she says that, no, it won't do. Come on, let us go. Just call Mohan. Let us go to some of, I forget, Binaji, you might know, remember, Mission Hospital or maybe, where Gidwani ji was going there. And so my X-ray was done. So that family warmth I have got from all of them. And so even today also, I'm very thankful to all of you. Again, I was lucky to enjoy the company of Gomthi ji for 3 years, to share her responsibilities and shoulder her work. More than president, she was like a sister for me and Asha both. जहां भी हो, उनके आत्मा को सदैव शांति मिले और AIWC को भी ऐसे ही प्रेसिडेंट बार बार मिलते रहे, यही मेरी शुभकामना. Namaste. Thank you, Sheila ji, Purjit ji and team for giving me the chance to share my feelings. And also Miraban and Rambhai, I'm happy to see you. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, Shivani ji. Thank you so much. Thank you for that short, sweet intervention about her work.
Krishna Kumari has joined.
Yeah, we have Mrs. Krishna Kumari with us. Krishna Kumari ji, you want to say something? No, we.
You're muted. You're muted.
Unmute yourself, please.
വിശിഷ്ട വ്യക്തികൾക്കും എൻ്റെ വിനീതമായ നമസ്കാരം. സെക്രട്ടറി നന്ദക്കോട് വനിതാ സമിതി. Even though I knew Patron Gomthi ma'am only for a few years, she had left a very lasting impact on me and my team. She was the guiding light for us and instilled a lot of confidence in all of us. Srimati Gomthi ma'am helped me understand how to interact with the community and how to understand their needs, and most importantly, how to organize the resources provided to us to bring about upliftment of society. It was under her guidance that we applied for Sosasolar Village Program and inaugurated the function of Sosasolar Village Program on 5th May 2019 in the presence of Honorable Zonal Organizer Srimati Usha Madam, and she supported us from day one and guided us throughout the program. Under this program, vegetable cultivation was her idea, and she was there with us when we harvested the first produce. She was also a part of all awareness class and anemia and did guide us regarding the organizing of the same. She personally helped us prepare nutrition soup and nutrition food, also guide us in preparing commercial fruit juice. She played an instrumental role in providing me and our members the confidence, support, guidance in all major initiatives. Every Malayali should be proud of her contribution. Her demise has been a great loss to us. We will always miss her and her support. Thanking you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Krishna Kumariji. Now let's proceed with the program, and we are going to this fourth segment of the program, where we have Mrs. Bhargavi Devendra. She is a senior member of AIWC and Secretary WIA Chennai. She is going to speak about TG as I know. Bhargavi ji, over to you, Bhargavi ji. Bhargavi ji, you can hear us? Yeah.
Good evening to everybody.
She's there.
Gomthi Nair was my colleague at Central Social Welfare Board. When I joined in 1965, she was a staff member, and she was very, very kind and nice, and like a sisterly person. She used to take care of our and nice sisterly for us, and she was the head of and from the field, from Chennai. Because she was very popular at the office. She cultural group, whatever programs they used to organize, she used to take part, especially Mr. Chari and Mrs. Chari and Gomthi Nair. They were very, very hospitable also. And they all the juniors feel at home. And afterwards, when she was the president of AIWC, there also she was a very person. She used there also they take care of Delhi. Sisterly take care of Delhi. And worked under Sarojini Vardhapan as Social Welfare Board as well as president at AIWC. I cannot forget Gomthi Nair, her hospitality and her protective ways of taking care of the juniors. So I would like to pay my homage to the home of my ex-colleague, and may Almighty bless her with a good next generation, so that she will come back and help the poor people. As I heard so much of her starting institutes to help the poor people. I am really very grateful to AIWC for the opportunity they have given me to say few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhargavi ji. That was so nice. Indeed, the projects started by our presidents have been so sustainable. You know, they're still running, and we are benefiting, and the society is benefiting from them. Thank you for that. Now, next speaker is Mrs. Thangamani Amma. She's from Kollam branch, the same branch as Gomthi ji. She'll be speaking in Malayalam. So I would request Usha ji to give a gist after her speech. Over to you, Thangamaniji.
Good evening, everybody. ചേച്ചിയെ പറ്റി പറയുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയാനുണ്ട്. ഏകദേശം നിങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും ഒരുവിധം ചേച്ചിയുടെ എല്ലാ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളും മറ്റു കാര്യങ്ങളും എല്ലാം കവർ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞു. എന്നാലും 4 വാക്ക് പറയാനുള്ള അവസരം എനിക്ക് തന്നതിൽ വളരെ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. 1925 ഓഗസ്റ്റ് 25-ന് ശ്രീമാൻ കൃഷ്ണപിള്ളയുടെയും ശ്രീമതി ഗൗരിപിള്ളയുടെയും മകളായി കൊല്ലം ജില്ലയിൽ ശാസ്താംകോട്ടയിൽ മുതുവിലാക്കാട് ഗൗരിവിലാസത്തിൽ ജനിച്ചു. അച്ഛൻ വില്ലേജ് ഓഫീസർ ആയിരുന്നു, അമ്മ ഗൃഹഭരണ. ആകെ ഈ ദമ്പതികൾക്ക് 9 മക്കൾ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. 4 ആൺമക്കളും 5 പെൺമക്കളും. അതിൽ 6ാമത്തെ പുത്രിയായി ശ്രീമതി ഗോമതി നായർ ജനിച്ചത്. പ്രൈമറി സ്കൂൾ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം LVLPS സ്കൂൾ മുതുവിലാക്കാട്, ഹൈസ്കൂൾ പഠനം ശൂരനാടായിരുന്നു. കോളേജിൽ പഠിച്ചത് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത്. ജോലി നോക്കിയത് സെൻട്രൽ സോഷ്യൽ വെൽഫെയർ ബോർഡ് ആയിരുന്നു. അവസാനം അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് ഡയറക്ടറായി ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് വന്ന് വിരമിച്ചു. ഭർത്താവ് ശ്രീ രാഘവൻ നായർ PTI കറസ്പോണ്ടന്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. ഒരേ ഒരു മകൾ മീര ഗുപ്ത, മരുമകൻ ശ്രീ റാം ഗുപ്ത, ചെറുമക്കൾ അഖിലേഷ് ആൻഡ് അഞ്ജലിക. തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് വൃന്ദാവൻ കോളനിയിൽ താമസിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോഴായിരുന്നു റിട്ടയർ ചെയ്തത്. അതിനുശേഷം ഉദ്യോഗപരമായി സോഷ്യൽ വെൽഫെയർ ബോർഡിന്റെ എല്ലാ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളും അറിയാവുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ശ്രീമതി ഗോമതി നായരുടെ നിർബന്ധം മൂലം ശാസ്താംകോട്ട മുതുവിലാക്കാട് ഒരു മഹിളാ സമാജം രൂപീകരിച്ചാൽ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുമെന്ന് ചേച്ചിയുടെ നേരെ മൂത്ത സഹോദരിയായ ശ്രീമതി സരോജിനി അമ്മയോട് ആവശ്യപ്പെടുകയും അതനുസരിച്ച് 1975 കുറെ പേരെ ചേർത്ത് കേരള ഐക്യ മഹിളാ സമാജം രൂപീകരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. 1980 അത് രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യുകയും അതിന്റെ പ്രസിഡന്റായി ചേച്ചിയുടെ സഹോദരി തന്നായ ശ്രീമതി സരോജിനി അമ്മ തന്നെ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചു. സെക്രട്ടറിയായി മറ്റൊരു സരോജിനി അമ്മയുമാണ് പ്രവർത്തിച്ചത്. അങ്ങനെ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കെ സോഷ്യൽ വെൽഫെയർ ബോർഡിന്റെ ധനസഹായത്തോടെ ഒരു മഹിളാ പ്രിന്റിംഗ് പ്രസ് ഇവിടെ തുടങ്ങി. സ്ത്രീകൾ തന്നെ കമ്പോസിങ്ങും പ്രിന്റിങ്ങും ഒക്കെ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുകയും ബ്ലോക്ക് ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് ഓഫീസിൽ നിന്നും കുറെ അധികം പെൺകുട്ടികൾ റൈസം പരിപാടിയുടെ കീഴിൽ ഈ പ്രസിൽ പഠിച്ച് ഇന്നും ഉപരിജീവനം നടത്തി വരുന്നുണ്ട്. ശേഷം 2 ക്രഷ് അനുവദിപ്പിച്ച് നടത്തുകയും ICDS പ്രോഗ്രാമിൽ ഇല്ലാതിരുന്ന കാലത്ത് ശാസ്താംകോട്ട ബ്ലോക്കിന്റെ പരിധിയിൽ നിന്നും പലരും വന്ന് ആവശ്യപ്പെട്ടതനുസരിച്ച് 3 ക്രഷ് കൂടി അനുവദിപ്പിച്ച് നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. 2017 ICDS ഈ പരിപാടികൾ ഏറ്റെടുക്കുകയും അവരുടെ മാനദണ്ഡം പാലിക്കാൻ പറ്റാതെ 3 എണ്ണം അവർ അടപ്പിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. ഇപ്പോഴും 2 എണ്ണം ICDSന്റെ കീഴിൽ നടന്നു പോകുന്നു. അതുകൂടാതെ മൾബറി കൾട്ടിവേഷൻ ആൻഡ് കൊക്കോൺ ട്രെയിനിങ് ആൻഡ് ട്രെയിനിങ് സെന്റർ കുറെ വർഷം നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. AIWCയുടെ ഏടോടുകൂടി 1 ലക്ഷത്തിൽ കൂടുതൽ സ്മോക്ക്ലെസ് ചൂള നിർമ്മിച്ചു നൽകി. 25 SEWC അതിന്റെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത് ഉപജീവനം നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. AIWCയുടെ ധനസഹായത്താൽ ഒരു മിനി ഫാമിലി വെൽഫെയർ ക്ലിനിക് പ്രോഗ്രാം 1 വർഷത്തിൽ കൂടുതൽ നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. AIWCയുടെ തന്നെ ആഭിമുഖ്യത്തിൽ ബയോഗ്യാസ് പ്ലാന്റുകൾ നിർമ്മിച്ചു നൽകിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. കബാട്ടിന്റെ ധനസഹായത്തോടുകൂടി ലോ കോസ്റ്റ് സാനിറ്റേഷൻ പ്രോഗ്രാം നടത്തി ശാസ്താംകോട്ട കായൽ പ്രദേശത്തുള്ളവർക്കും അല്ലാത്തവർക്കുമായി ഒരു മേജർ പ്രോഗ്രാം നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. നെതർലൻഡ് എംബസിയുടെ ധനസഹായത്തോടുകൂടി ഒരു മെഡിസിനൽ പ്ലാന്റ് പ്രോഗ്രാം നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. സോഷ്യോ എക്കണോമിക് പരിപാടിയായി സെൻട്രൽ സോഷ്യൽ വെൽഫെയർ ബോർഡിൽ നിന്ന് ഡയറി സ്കീം നടത്തി നല്ല രീതിയിൽ തിരിച്ചടവ് നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. BWCRയുടെ ധനസഹായത്തോടുകൂടി ചന്ദനത്തിരി ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നതിന്റെ ട്രെയിനിങ് ആൻഡ് പ്രൊഡക്ഷൻ യൂണിറ്റ് നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. മെഴുകുതിരി, സോപ്പ് ആൻഡ് സോപ്പ് പൗഡർ യൂണിറ്റ് നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതുകൂടാതെ തന്നെ കുറെ അവയർനെസ് ജനറേഷൻ പ്രോഗ്രാമുകൾ ബോർഡിന്റെയും AIWCയുടെയും ആഭിമുഖ്യത്തിൽ നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. ടൈലറിംഗ് ആൻഡ് ടൈപ്പ് റൈറ്റിംഗ് ഇവയ്ക്ക് പരിശീലനം നൽകുന്ന സെന്ററുകൾ വളരെ വർഷം നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നു. ടൈലറിംഗ് ആൻഡ് സ്കിൽ ട്രെയിനിങ് പ്രോഗ്രാം AIWCയുടെ ധനസഹായത്തോടെ നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പകൽ വീട് ഫോർ സീനിയർ സിറ്റിസന് വേണ്ടി നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നു. നാഷണൽ ലെവൽ 7 ദിവസത്തെ എയ്ഡ്സ് പ്രോഗ്രാം KTDC കൊല്ലത്ത് വെച്ച് അന്ന് ആദ്യമായി MP ആയ ശ്രീ NK പ്രേമചന്ദ്രൻ ഇനാഗുറേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് നടത്തി.
ആൾ ഇന്ത്യ തലത്തിലുള്ള എല്ലാ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പൻസും അതിൽ പങ്കെടുത്ത ഒരു പരിപാടിയായിരുന്നു. സീനിയർ മെമ്പർ ആയിരുന്ന സരോജിനി വരദപ്പൻ, മിസ്റ്റർ ആൻഡ് മിസസ് യെച്ചൂരി, ശ്രീമതി ലളിത ബാലകൃഷ്ണൻ, അതുകൂടാതെ AIWCയുടെ തലപ്പത്തുള്ള ഒരുവിധപ്പെട്ട എല്ലാ അംഗങ്ങളും ഇതിനകത്ത് പങ്കെടുക്കുകയും ഈ പരിപാടിയുടെ വിജയം നടത്തിയതിന് AIWC ചേച്ചിയെ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ അനുമോദിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. ഈ തരത്തിലുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളെല്ലാം കാഴ്ചവെച്ച് ഞങ്ങളുടെ കേരളത്തിന്റെ ഭാഷയിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ ശാസ്താംകോട്ടയുടെ കണ്ണിലുണ്ണിയായി മാറിയിരുന്ന ഗോമതി ചേച്ചി നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടിട്ട് 5 മാസം കഴിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇപ്പോഴും എനിക്ക് ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല നമ്മളെ വിട്ടുപോയി എന്നുള്ളത്. ഈ 5 മിനിറ്റ് സമയം സംസാരിക്കാൻ സമയം തന്നതിന് വളരെയധികം താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you so much, Thangamani ji. Usha ji, will you just tell us the gist?
Yes. Thangamani is from Mrs. Gomthi Nair's branch, which is AIWC Kollam branch. She started with giving a rough life sketch of Madam, born on 25th August 1925. She was 6th among 9 siblings. She had 4 brothers and 4 sisters. She did her primary schooling in Shastangota and high school in a nearby Shuranada. Then for college education, she went to Trivandrum. Then she got married to what we have already heard. She got married to Mr. Raghavan Nair, who was a journalist, and she joined Central Social Welfare Board. And then she has given in detail the work of Kerala Aikya Mahila Samajam. Mrs. Gomthi Nair was instrumental in starting that organization in 1975. It was registered in 1980 and very soon got affiliation with All India Women's Conference. But the variety of programs that they have done is quite impressive. Because of her connections with Central Social Welfare Board, she knew very well about the schemes and programs. So they got a Mahila printing press, where women were doing the composing and printing, and women were also being trained, and many of those girls are still earning a living out of the training they got in this Mahila printing press. Then they started 2 creches under Central Social Welfare Board, but there was popular demand for more creches because ICDS Anganwadis had not yet become popular and people wanted more well-run creches. So they expanded it to 5 creches. Then there was a program of mulberry cultivation and cocoon rearing plus training. Then when the smokeless chulas program was implemented in a very large way, we heard it in the other reading of the article also. Mrs. Gomthi Nair was instrumental in making it a huge success. And in this branch alone, 25 women were given training in construction of smokeless chulas, and they were making a living out of it. This program also included biogas plants. Then there was a mini family welfare center, again funded by Central Social Welfare Board. And CAPAT had funded a low-cost sanitation program, which was a very huge success in that area. Then with the help of Netherlands Embassy, they ran a medicinal plant program. And from Central Social Welfare Board, there was a dairy scheme which ran very well during its duration. Then skill training was offered in several skills: tailoring, typewriting, agarbatti and candle making, soap and detergent making. And this provided income for many poor women of that area. Then there was the Pagal Vida, that is a day home for elders, which was funded by AIWC. Then the one notable program that she had organized was a 7-day national program on AIDS, which was conducted in Kollam, Quailon, and eminent guests and senior members from AIWC and from the nearby areas. They had all participated in the 7-day program, and Gomthi ji's contribution in organizing this great event was appreciated by all. This is what Thangamani has said, and she has also expressed gratitude to the office bearers and the organizers for giving her a chance to speak at this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha. Thank you so much. Very well presented, translated. Thank you. Now we have Mrs. Meera Gupta, daughter of Gomthi ji, and her husband, Mr. Ram Gupta. So they are going to speak and show a PPT. Meera Gupta is an arts graduate from IP College, New Delhi, and she was a public relations officer in ITTC. Her husband, Mr. Ram Gupta, is hospitality management graduate from New Delhi and Germany. He has worked and lived in India, Japan, Middle East, and Europe, and he is now a consultant in the industry. I think we also have the grandchildren, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We can't hear you. Yeah.
Son and daughter. Son
Yeah.
was here. He's just left his office. He's coming. But daughter is in the US. I don't think she's been able to join in.
Okay, because I've got their names, Akhilesh Gupta and Anjalika Gupta. You know. Oh, anyway, so over to you, Meera ji and Ram ji.
I think I'll start. I'm not going to speak about her work in AIWC because that you all are very, very well versed, except that I may skirt a few issues where she used to consult me either singularly or with other office bearers of your various years of existence. I first met Mummy, as I used to call her that time, in her office in Central Social Welfare Board in January 1976. I was managing Kovalam Beach Resort. I had just opened it on 2nd January 76. And Meera was my public relations officer there. And we had decided to get married. So I came to meet Mummy, and Mummy knew why I was coming. So in the library where she was, she had collected about 15 ladies around her. And because it was a joint approval sort of thing of the son-in-law or son, whatever you may say. Anyway, I think I passed the test. And next day I was to meet Daddy and Amma together in Gulmoho Park at their residence. And there our discussions were not on whether I was approved or not, but how to proceed. So we had jumped one step, and they wanted to know how they should take the proposal to my parents. And I said, it's very simple. You simply come home and propose, that's all. So they came, and
They were more worried that, they didn't know that they had to pay a big dowry to, because I was married into a Gupta family.
So anyway, when they met my father, all those fears were allayed, because my father said, we don't believe in dowry and all. We believe in a daughter. I don't have any sisters. So, my father said, we'll just get them married, and that's it. So we got married on 8th of March in Delhi, in Gulmoho Park. It was a big fanfare. Those days we had guest control orders, but somehow Daddy, being a very senior journalist in Delhi, he could manage a lot of things. There were a great deal of journalists and political people in the wedding who attended, including the ex-Industries Minister of Kerala, the Chief Minister of Kerala. They all attended the wedding. And then, we came back to Kovalam. And after that, we both got transferred to Delhi, to ITDC headquarters. And I then left the job in ITDC and joined ITC in Jaipur. Now, there's an important incident that happened there. Mummy Daddy came there to us. I was a GM of Welcome Hotel Mansingh. Meera was not working because Akhil was born. She wanted to look after him. Mummy spent about a week with us. Daddy came about 3-4 days. But then we were invited by, Daddy and Mummy were invited by Mr. Bhairav Singh Shekhawat, who was the Chief Minister of Rajasthan in Jaipur, for a breakfast. And it was a private breakfast meeting. So Mummy, Daddy, Bhairav Singh ji, his wife, me and Meera, we were there. Akhilesh was there, of course. And then after breakfast, Bhairav Singh ji took us to his back garden, where he had put up the Goba gas plant. Mummy saw that plant with great interest and enthusiasm. And next, when we visited Shastam Kota, I was surprised too that Mummy took us to her back garden, and this Goba gas plant was standing there because she had 2 cows and she had managed to install it at her own with her own investment, and her kitchen was running on it. So, and I think that instilled the confidence in her that if she could do it, she could propagate it. And she then promoted Goba gas plant in Kerala in a big way. So that's the part that she was a great learner. She would learn from experiences of life, and then she would propagate those things further down. I remember in the early 90s or late 80s, Miss Lily Thomas, it was who was a lawyer and your member. She would come home in Gurmoh Park with Mummy, and sometimes she would stay with us only, and they would discuss with me the nitty-gritties of your trust formation. In fact, the trust deed, because I had a lot of legal acumen because of my dealings with legal cases for various companies. And they never hesitated to take advice or listen to somebody who had hardly any this thing of AIWC's working and all those things. Anyway, that was the other side. Then I would say in 1983-84, when Mrs. Raghuramaya came to Delhi, she used to always stay in a ground floor sort of apartment at the back of AIWC building. She called me and Meera with Mummy, and we went there, and she said, listen, I would like you to help me with Aga Khan Hall. We are not having any income there. Could you help us? So I was a bit hesitant because it was such a small thing now, but I was doing consulting at that time for 1 year because the hotel in Siddharth, there was a big fire and it was closed for renovation. So I said, okay, let me see it. We saw it, and it was in totally dilapidated condition. It was being used as a warehouse or a storehouse, I would say, especially the small hall which we got converted to meeting rooms. And the hall was in very bad shape, dirty, black floors. You got mosaic terrazzo tiles there, but it was all black. So we said we'll need to renovate it if you want it to be marketed properly. So she got worried that I might give her a big budget. I said no. If you just allocate 2 lakhs of rupees, we would renovate it also, and we would try to save something out of it. I said, we are not going to renovate in terms of as in renovation, but we are going to, deep clean it and change the fabric on the wall, and the soundproof material behind it, so that it becomes suitable for shootings and all those things. Because your Doordarshan was very close to Aga Khan Hall. And so they gave us the budget. We got the khadar cloth, grey cloth, through AIWC only. and we got it printed in your printing press down below. Block printing. It came out beautiful. We had spring cleaned it, the whole thing. The soundproofing became perfect. We did change a lot of lights and all those things, and we converted the small small hall. We threw all the used paint boxes and all those things, and we converted it into a nice meeting room. The result was that, the early episodes of Aapki Adalat, they were all shot there. And the income from that was, a great attraction for AIWC, your finance committee, or whatever I may say. So then when my hotel opened back, Meera was looking after that marketing of your Aga Khan Hall. So I think that was a small experiment, but a big success. Now let me come to your Amma's. When Mummy became Amma, see, me and Meera used to call Mummy as Mummy, but when our children were born, Akhilesh and Angelika, they used to call her Amma. And so that they don't start calling her Mummy, me and Meera also started calling her Amma. That's how in our life she became Amma, and ever since her last day, she was Amma for us. I would the lighter side of her life was that in Akhilesh's wedding in Delhi, which many of you might have attended. I think Mrs. Baba was there, Mrs. Janaki Rajaram was there, then Vijay Lakshmi ji were there. They were all there.
Beenaji was also there.
Yeah.
Beenaji was there. Beenaji.
We all were there at the reception.
Beenaji was there. Yeah.
All from AIWC were there. We were also there.
So in the Sangeet program, Mummy and Janki Ramaji were dancing to glory the whole day. It was such a fun. I'm saying, in fact, we don't have time, otherwise we could have on the PPT. You could have seen that.
Actually, I was always my daughter.
Of late, Amma was always having slight differences with Meera. They would, the mother and daughter's fights would take place, and then Mummy will call me. Your wife wants me to go away. Your wife wants me to leave. I said, no, Amma, she doesn't want you to leave. What happens? And then she'll narrate the whole thing. And so this no joke thing used to go on between the mother and the daughter, which was a great thing.
You was the mediator for that.
I was the mediator for these things. So these were I'm saying these are this is what I'm telling you as a perspective of the family member of the son-in-law and the daughter. And for me, the trading was very delicate because I was son also and son-in-law also. And that was a delicate balancing effort on from me. And so that's all. I think I would like to close here. Shilaji, thanks a lot for giving us the opportunity.
It's a very great initiative.
Great initiative.
Where we know about all of them.
Please keep it up.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
And
for
the calendar,
joining.
we loved it. Really loved the calendar. It's beautiful.
And Roshni will be sent to you tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Meera and Mr. Ram. Thank you. Thank you. So we Go over to the next section is members and known relatives, not relatives really, friends of Mrs. Gomthi Nair. They are going to speak about her. And in this, I'll be helped by Usha ji, because some of the members and the friends would like to speak in Malayalam. So I'll set the ball rolling, and Usha ji, you can take over whenever there's someone who needs interpretation and translation. So first of all, I'd like to call these people here, they are going to talk about their reminiscences, their memories, their time spent with Mrs. Gomthi Nair. So I would first of all like to invite Mrs. Beena Jain, our senior most patron, for her memories, whatever you want to say about your time spent with Mrs. Gomthi.
Thank you, Yutika ji. But say few words only, because a specialty, I'll not repeat the same thing, whatever we have been discussing. So I know Gomthi from the beginning, but 2-3 incidents I will mention to you. When she was the president and she gave me the responsibility as a member in charge, she said, I know I'll give you a very tough subject and nobody can do it, but you can do it. So I said, why Gomthi ji? Why all these things to me? She gave me member in charge national integration. So this was very new in AIWC. Earlier must be, but not during my association with AIWC. So 2-3 months, just I was thinking what to do. So I said, I have to do. Then somehow I did it very nicely and she was very happy. So she said, I knew that you are the only one who can do all these things. And very nice person, very affectionate. And one more thing about my very personal, she was very strong believer in Kerala oils and Kerala massage and Kerala herbs and other things. So when I went to, first I'll say, when I asked her, shall I stand for president? She didn't say anything. She went to home, and after coming back, okay, you can stand. After that, she said, I asked some astrologer, and he said, the name B and jo bhi other name tha, I don't want to mention, the B will win. So she said, okay, you stand now. So I said, okay. So like this, when I took over from her, she guided me like anything. You do this, don't do this, don't do this. And she stayed in AIWC, I think 3-4 months after handing over the charge also. And during my period, when I thought I'll go to Trivandrum to visit the branches, so office booked the hotel for me. I said, no, I have to talk to Gomati ji. When I talked to her, she said, no question, you have to stay with me. So I said, okay. Everybody said, why you want to stay with her? I said, I will stay with her. So I went there and I stayed with her. That was a memorable days. And she was so caring that she said, don't lock a room from inside. Maybe lock will not work, then you will be inside, what to do. So she said in many things, and she gave me lovely food time to time in small helping, very small helping, but many things, like a small piece of pineapple, it's a half vada, half idli, like that. So she gave me many things. So I learned one word. Still I say I don't know. Akka or akka, something pronounced karne mein there is little difference. One is sister and one is some other thing. So I learned this word from her, and she said, yes, now you learned this word. And we went many places to visit branches and other things, and very loving person. Still, I remember I was there on 30th June. So she said you should have stayed more, but I will not allow you to stay more because on 1st the rain will start and come, and there will be a lot of thunder and heavy rain, and I don't want that you travel by air in thunder on it. This is very risky. So it shows a very concern, and she was so much concerned and shows very attached and very nice person, very nice person. So this type of memories I have very much like a mother, but I have very good memory when I was staying with her. So small things, many things are there. But time, I think, very short, and time is going to be. Many people are waiting to speak, but these are my very memories, still in my mind and my heart, and very loving person, and I'll never forget her. In presidentship also, she helped me a lot, and very loving. Thank you very much, and thank you, give me the time. And I whatever I spoke for her is a very little, but from my heart. Thank you very much.
Yes, Yutika, are you continuing or shall I start?
No, I just lost the connection.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. These are some videos, Ushaji.
Yeah,
Anyone else wants to say something
No,
before?
following the videos we have. We'll first show the videos, and then after that.
You have speakers, right?
Yes, there are 2-3 people who have given their names. So we'll. So can we start now?
The video by Mrs. Santa Nair.
Yes. Shall we start with Mrs.
Yes.
Santa Nair's video? She is from Calicut branch, Suvarna, and an old associate of Gomthi ji. So you will be playing the video. I think Bhuvneshwari is playing the video.
Anyone there? Or Supriya? Do I do the videos?
I have the video. If Bhuvneshwari is playing it, it's fine.
Fine.
No,
I
have the video, but I have to share.
You're not the co-host. Yeah. Go.
You can,
So,
you can do
how
it.
about you, Yutika?
This
Yutika?
one, which one is
Shanta Nair's, you know?
Okay.
There are 2 YouTube ones.
The
I
one,
sent to you.
The one, yeah, I'll show
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Right.
4:20.
This is also in Malayalam. So after this, Bhuvneshwari will just give a gist of the contents.
Okay, one second. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is the one.
This is the one. Can you hear?
ഗോമതി നായർ സ്മരണാഞ്ജലി പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന ഞാൻ 24 വർഷമായി AIWC കോഴിക്കോട് ബ്രാഞ്ചിൽ എളിയ പ്രവർത്തകയാണ്. വർഷമായി പേട്രണായി രണ്ടു ഭാഗം സംസാരിക്കുവാൻ അവസരം തന്ന ശ്രീമതി മാഡം, വിജയലക്ഷ്മി, ഭുവനേശ്വരി എന്നിവരോട് പ്രത്യേക നന്ദി. ശ്രീമതി ഗോമതി മാഡത്തെ ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കാണുന്നത് 2006 കൽക്കത്തയിൽ വെച്ച് നടന്ന വാർഷികാഘോഷവേളയിലാണ്. മലയാളികളായതുകൊണ്ടാണോ എന്നറിയില്ല, എന്നോടും രമാ മോഹൻദാസിനോടും വളരെ സ്നേഹത്തോടെ അവർ പെരുമാറി. പുതുവത്സ പരിപാടികൾ ഭംഗിയാക്കണമേ മാഡം മുൻ പന്തിയിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. വന്നവരുടെ താമസ സൗകര്യം, ഭക്ഷണം എന്നീ വിഷയങ്ങൾ പ്രത്യേകം താല്പര്യം കാണിച്ചു. പിന്നീട് മുംബൈ, ഡൽഹി, ഇൻഡോർ, ഗുർഗോൺ, തിരുവനന്തപുരം, ആലപ്പുഴ തുടങ്ങിയ സ്ഥലങ്ങളിൽ ഗോമതി മാഡത്തെ കാണുവാൻ എനിക്ക് ഭാഗ്യമുണ്ടായി. 2009 മാഡം AIWC നാഷണൽ പ്രസിഡന്റായി എന്ന വാർത്ത ഇവിടെ ഏറ്റവും അധികം സന്തോഷമുളവാക്കിയത് കേരളീയരായ നമ്മളാണ്. ചുരുക്കം ചിലർക്ക് മാത്രം ലഭിക്കുന്ന ഒരു അസുലഭ നേട്ടമായിരുന്നു അത്. അതേ വർഷം കോഴിക്കോട് ശാഖയുടെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ നേരിട്ട് കാണുവാൻ പ്രവർത്തക സമിതി അംഗങ്ങളോടൊത്ത് വരുന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് വാർത്ത അറിഞ്ഞു. അവരെ ഗംഭീരമായി സ്വീകരിക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി എന്ത് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുവാൻ അംഗങ്ങൾ മുന്നോട്ട് വന്നു. പേട്രൺ കമല ആർ മേനോന്റെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ കൈകൊട്ടിക്കളി റെഡിയായി. പ്രവർത്തക സമിതി അംഗങ്ങൾ താലപ്പൊലിയോടെ ആഗതനെ എതിരേറ്റു. മാഡത്തിന്റെ കൂടെ സോണൽ ഓർഗനൈസർ സൗത്ത് സോൺ ബി ക്യാപ്റ്റൻ അന്നപൂർണ, ശ്രീമതി പത്മിനി മാഡം, ശ്രീമതി ശാന്താദാസ് എന്നിവർക്കെല്ലാം നിലവിളക്കുകൾ സമ്മാനമായി നൽകി ആദരിച്ചു. ഗോമതി മാഡം വളരെ നന്നായി പ്രസംഗിച്ചു. കോഴിക്കോട് ശാഖയിലെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളെയും അവരുടെ അംഗങ്ങളെയും പുകഴ്ത്തി അവർ സംസാരിച്ചു. ഞങ്ങളോടൊത്ത് ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്തു. പ്രസിഡന്റ് ആയിരുന്ന ഞാനും സെക്രട്ടറി ആയിരുന്ന ഊർമിളയും കൂടുതൽ സന്തോഷിച്ചു. അളകാപുരിയിൽ വെച്ച് നടന്ന പരിപാടിയിൽ ഫോട്ടോവും വാർത്തയും മുഖ്യ പത്രങ്ങളിലെല്ലാം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഗോമതി മേഡം ഞങ്ങളോട് നിർദ്ദേശിച്ച പ്രധാന കാര്യം സാധു കുടുംബത്തിലെ വനിതകളെയും മെമ്പർമാരാക്കണം. ഓണാഘോഷം പോലുള്ള ചടങ്ങുകൾക്ക് മുൻതൂക്കം നൽകരുത്. അടുത്ത സോണൽ മീറ്റിംഗ് കോഴിക്കോട് വെച്ച് നടത്തണം. ഞങ്ങളുടെ പ്രവർത്തന റിപ്പോർട്ട് അവർ നേരിട്ട് മേടിച്ചുകൊണ്ടുപോയി. എല്ലാവർക്കും സന്തോഷകരമായ ഒരു ദിനമായിരുന്നു അത്. ഗോമതി മാഡത്തെ ഞാൻ അവസാനമായി കണ്ടത് എറണാകുളത്ത് വെച്ച് നടന്ന വാർഷികാഘോഷ വേളയിലാണ്. പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും കോഴിക്കോടൻ ഹലുവ കൊണ്ടുവരണമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങളെ നിർദ്ദേശിച്ചതും ഗോമതി മാഡമായിരുന്നു. എനിക്കും ഗൗരി അടിയൊടിക്കും പൂച്ചട്ട് തന്ന് ആദരിച്ചത് ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോഴും ഓർക്കുന്നു. കോഴിക്കോട് സോണൽ മീറ്റിംഗ് നടത്തി. 2011 ആകുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഗോമതി മാഡം പേട്രണായി മാറിയിരുന്നു. മൂത്ത സഹോദരിയെ പോലെയുള്ള പെരുമാറ്റം, പ്രസംഗ ശൈലി, സംഘടനാ വൈഭവം എന്നിവ മാഡത്തെ എന്നും ഓർമ്മിക്കുവാൻ പ്രേരിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. എപ്പോൾ ഫോൺ ചെയ്താലും എന്നോട് സംസാരിക്കാറുണ്ട്. അവസാനം വരെയും എല്ലാ വാർഷിക യോഗങ്ങളിലും പങ്കെടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് അവർ നമ്മെ വിട്ടുപോയി. AIWCയുടെ ഉയർന്ന സ്ഥാനങ്ങളായ നാഷണൽ പ്രസിഡന്റ്, പേട്രൺ എന്നീ സ്ഥാനങ്ങൾ അലങ്കരിച്ച ഗോമതി മാഡം, ലക്ഷ്മിയൻ മേനോൻ എന്നിവരെ ഓർത്ത് നമുക്ക് അഭിമാനിക്കാം. ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള മഹതികൾ കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ഇനിയും ഉണ്ടാവണം എന്ന് ഞാൻ ആശംസിക്കുന്നു. AIWC കുടുംബത്തിലെ ഒരു സഹോദരി നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട വിഷമത്തോടെ പരേതാത്മാവിന്റെ നിത്യശാന്തി നേർന്നുകൊള്ളുന്നു.
Ushaji, you can now.
Purneshwari will give the translation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only giving a gist of what Srimati Shanta R. Nair said here today. Srimati Shanta R. Nair is the senior patron of Suvarna Kozhikode branch for the last 10 years, and she has been an active office bearer for several years. She has shared with us some of her memories about Madam Gomthi Nair, whom she had met for the first time in the year 2006 at the annual conference at Calcutta. She fondly remembers and how affectionately Madam Gomthi Nair interacted with her and Srimati Rama Mohandas in that meeting, and also how she was in the forefront for making all the arrangements over there. Thereafter, she had met Madam at Mumbai, Delhi, Indore, Gurgaon, Alapi, and Trivandrum also. According to Shantaji, all AIWC members of Kerala felt very proud when Srimati Gomthi Nair became the president of AIWC, which is a prestigious position bestowed on rare few. Soon after assuming the office of President of the AIWC, Madam Gomthi Nair, along with the zonal organizer of South Zone B, Captain Annapurna, Srimati Shanta Das, and Srimati Padmini, had paid a visit to Kozhikode to evaluate the functioning and activities of the Kozhikode branch. Suvarna's office bearers, along with the standing committee member Srimati Gauri Adiyodi, gave a very warm welcome and honored the visiting dignitaries in our traditional way. Also presented a colorful cultural programs in that meeting. She fondly remembers how Madam Gomthi Nair appreciated the activities of the branch, how affectionately she interacted with the members as an elder sister. Especially, she remembers about herself, who was a president, and Urmila, who was the secretary. How well she spoke at meetings, and also the efficient manner in which she conducted the programs, many of the events. Madam Gomthi Nair had told that the next zonal meeting should be held in Kozhikode, and our branch had done that at a later stage. And in that meeting, she had honored our office bearers, including Srimati Shanta Nair and all. Then, highlighting the achievements of Madam Gomthi Nair and Srimati Lakshmi Menon, Srimati Shanta Nair concluded by expressing sorrow at the loss of such great personalities and paid homage to the departed souls. She also wished there will be more such persons from Kerala who will be holding such high posts. Thank you very much, Ushaji, for.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhuvneshwari ji. Thank you so much. Now I'll play Hema Raghavanji's video, right?
No, I am here. I am on the line. She'll speak then. Let us speak.
Oh, okay, but I also have your video. Okay, perfect.
Good evening to all. I am Hema Raghavan, executive member of this AIWC, Suvarna, and served as treasurer, vice president, and as a standing committee member for more than 10 years. I met our Gomthi ji in Pondicherry for the first time. It was an exciting moment to hear that she had reached the heights of AIWC from the southern part of India. She was a charismatic figure in AIWC. I used to meet her in all conferences of AIWC. Whenever we met, she used to inquire about our details regarding our programs in AIWC Calicut, and also inquire about the senior members, especially our Ms. Shanta Nair and Mrs. Rema Mohandas. I remember once I stayed with her in her room in Sarojini House. I honorably remember that she attended the conference in Kakinada and Gurgaon when she was very ill. I am very sorry to see her in that condition. May her soul rest in peace. Thanks for you all to give me for a chance to talk. Thanking you. Thanks.
Thank you, Hema ji. Now, next is the video.
Suma is there. Suma will speak up.
Okay, perfect. Then we don't have any more videos, right?
No, there are no more videos. She will speak.
Okay, perfect.
Suma?
Just to interrupt Ushaji and Yutika, we have Meeraji's PPT pending. I'm supposed to show it. So when should we have it? In the end, probably?
Yeah, after.
Can we end it with that?
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Sumaji, will you speak now?
Suma, you can start now.
I'm unmuting.
And now she's not seen.
There.
Suma, you can start. Suma, please unmute and start. I think she's having some network issue.
Okay.
Yeah, you can call the next. Ushaji, you take this over.
Here also the weather is very bad.
Oh, it's raining?
I think, yeah, it's raining and there is a squall. So I think you can take over. Yutika, have an open session now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
If Suma is there, I think she's there, Suma. Suma Raj
You can
Pillai.
see her, but she's not speaking.
Okay, okay.
But
Okay,
I think we should show the PPT first,
Yeah, now I
Supriya.
am online.
Okay.
Ushaji,
Okay.
after Hema Chichi, I was wanting to add few things. Can I speak now?
Okay, Bhuvneshwari ji, you go ahead. I think Sheila ji, we first finish this session, whoever wants to speak, and then we go to the PPT in the end, right? So you please start, Bhuvneshwari ji. Yeah, you
Yeah,
want to
I
speak?
was not sure whether I'll be participating today. I was busy, so that's why I didn't give the name.
Good, you are here.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I could. Actually, I would like to say a few words about very brief interaction with Madam Gomthi Nair. Actually, Madam's visit to Kozhikode was much before my joining AIWC, and I was not there at that time. But I've seen many photographs in our reports, and also we had included it in our souvenir also, those photographs. Now, I met Madam only twice. Once at the Bardoli conference, which I attended. That was in 2017, I think. And then next, it was at the last conference that we had, Maneso, in 2020. It was Hema Chechi, Hema Raghwan. That's why I wanted to talk after her. Hema Chechi, who took me to Madam and introduced me, saying that I should meet this very energetic person and try to understand so many good things from her about AIWC. So she was at that time in wheelchair, and Vijayalakshmi was with her throughout. During that conference, I used to watch Madam, who spoke so very clear and with passion about her work at that time. It's also. Then during that meeting, I also spent quite some time speaking to Madam, trying to understand what AIWC work is and what the program is, especially of the Health Trust. She explained to me. She was very happy to explain to me all those things because I was new. I didn't know anything. That was the brief interactions with Madam Gomthi Nair. And on behalf of all my elders and friends in Suvarna who have met her and known her, I would like to pay homage to Madam Gomthi Nair. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhuvneshwari ji. Okay. Now, Suma ji, would you like to speak? She's trying. Anyone else who would want to speak about their memories? Do we have anyone else? No? Then we can.
Suma is trying to speak. Suma, are you there? Suma?
She's there, but she is not able to, connect or. Yes, Suma ji, if you want to speak, maybe without video is a good idea.
I think her audio is not seen connected here.
Oh, acha. Then
she must have lost the audio connection.
Okay. So if somebody else, anyone else wants.
Yutika ji, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Padma ji.
Padma
Okay.
ji, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say a few words. First of all, hearty congratulations to AIWC, Sheila ji for the excellent idea, and Yutika ji, excellent moderator, and Supriya ji, the enchanting invite and the calendar. We had enjoyed it thoroughly, and we will really miss it. And we enjoyed it. Maybe we should repeat it after some time. Having said that, as far as my connection with Gomthi ji is, as everybody said, she's very, very friendly and a loving person. When I was involved with the Shadra project in Delhi, she was a great encouragement along with the Shobhana ji and also Aparna Basuji. And our work in Shadra was not just a fresh project. We had a very major project with the FAO, United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization. That is when we all collaborated and we won an award also for that. So in that connection, and I got a lot of encouragement from Shobhana ji and Gomthi ji. I still remember that all. And it was all a very friendly atmosphere. because I was traveling back and forth to India from Europe, and they gave me full support. I just remember it. I have a fond memories of that. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Padmaji. Thank you so much. Anyone else who would like to speak something? Or shall we go over? Just for information, all this would be on YouTube available. All the this is recorded. All the programs we have recorded.
I've shared the link of the YouTube.
Oh, good.
International, yeah.
Good. So, and all the previous episodes, no, Shilaji, that's what everyone, anyone who
Yeah.
wants to see any of these, it's
Yes,
available on YouTube. So
Yeah, they are available.
no worries. Yeah. So now let's go ahead with what the
Yutika, ma'am,
PPT.
may I share a memory?
Oh yeah, sure, Archana ji.
Okay. So I met Gomthi ma'am first time for the Gujarat Bardoli meeting. We had a meeting at Bardoli. So that is when I got a chance to closely associate with her. Full time I was with her, holding her hand, helping her to walk, and we were interacting throughout. And we went for shopping together. And while at the dinner time, and she came to know somehow that I love sweets. So then after having dinner, then before leaving, she asked, "You like ice cream, right? Order 2 ice creams." And she bought ice creams for me. And she used to tell about her love for plants, everything. So Vijay Lakshmi ma'am was the one who introduced me to Gomthi ma'am. So thank you, ma'am, for introducing me to a great soul. And all these memories will remain fresh in my heart, and she will live in my heart forever as my grandmother.
Such a lovely snippet,
Thank you,
Archana ji.
Yutika ji, for the opportunity.
Lovely snippet you said. As these small things, you know, the ice creams, these are what make impression on your mind. That's so nice. Very well said.
I am back, Usha.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Suma ji, please go ahead. You want to speak, right, Suma ji? You may speak now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me thank Dr. Vijay Lakshmi and Usha ji for inviting me to this seminar. I'm really blessed to present Gomthi ji. Personally, I think I have befriended with Gomthi ji after becoming a patron. I think it was in 2012 in connection with Faridabad annual conference. I was there and I was introduced to Gomthi ji. But when I joined AWC, I was hearing the name of our General Secretary, past President, and now patron, like that. And our first meeting was at the headquarters AWC in her apartment. That was highly official. But I felt a peer support from the conversation. And from there, we started calling oftenly, and then it comes frequently. And there was no age difference was showing there, and everything melts away. The age difference, the status of a patron, everything melt away. And that's the speciality I observed in Gomthi ji. She gives me the freedom. When she meet, I think so, the service-minded person, she will keep close to her heart, and the brilliance, her generosity, her leadership qualities, everything I observed sparkled something to bring my innermost skills to the fullest. And then from there, I started calling her Gomthi Chechi. Chechi means Didi. And we were just like sisterly or motherly. I don't know what to explain. She was there for me to guide, to bring out me. And then I started, thanks to Maithili ma'am also, I started writing in Roshni. And the articles, even Gomthi Chechi used to read that and appreciate. Sometimes she would say, "What are you going to write next? Please send that to me. Let me see that first, and then you can send that to Roshni," like that. She was there too. That is so simple. Wherever I found one incident is there. She had a personal visit to Alua Manappuram, that Mahadeva temple, to pay the rituals for her husband.
That was in 2017, July month, this month, 5 years. And I got a call from Chechi, and Chechi was saying, I got a personal visit over there. I want to stay there one day. Then I thought I want to book a hotel. Then surprisingly, Chechi was voluntarily saying, why can't I stay with you, Suma? You are at Alva. Oh my God. Then I was living in the first floor and our ground floor was rented out. And I said, Chechi, we are staying in first floor. Are you thinking that I am that much old not to climb the stairs to first floor? That actually everything is eye opener. She never allowed the age to rule her. She was young at heart, and that was the inspiration to all of us, I think, who was her successors. And she came over there. And one more thing, nothing personal. And she arranged an informal meeting with the available AIWC Aluva committee members after the Manappuram program. She arranged that and asked her to take her. And that is it, nothing personal. Service is a motto. And even I got an opportunity to be Gomthi Chechi's guest. Thank you, Maithili ma'am. She asked me, can you do an interview with Gomthi ji to publish in that Downline Memory Roshni edition? So in connection with the 90th celebrations of AIWC. Then I went there along with the two of our colleagues, Daisy Joy and Sumati Rasalam. We went there and experienced and enjoyed the Aditi Devo Bhava. That means guests are just like God, like that. So a lot of things are coming. This time is not enough if I say something more. The uniqueness, actually, that is leading light for the rest of my life to do service to humankind. So lot of memories in my heart to treasure. May the noble soul rest in peace. Pranams. Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sumaji. That was lovely. The best way is to pen them down that you have already been doing. So you can write more about her and your memories on her. So with,
thank you.
Yeah, with this, I think we can just have the PPT now and then close the program after that. It's about time. Supriya, you would be presenting?
Vijay Lakshmi ji, one more video is there, right? That Chandamangalam thing, is it there?
No, that is in YouTube. I sent it to them, Supriya and Yutuka. I already sent it to them.
Okay.
YouTube link I sent it to you.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, let's have the PPT and then I think
yes.
Because
Sure.
the video you were talking about, Ms. Sumaji, is on YouTube, so anyone can see that. You know.
Yeah, that was a task entrusted to me by Gomthi Chechi. And she believed in me. She trusted me. And Dr. Vijay Lakshmi and Krishna Kumari ji was with her during the visit, 2 visits. And we completed the work in a month. And she was able to present that in the Kakinada conference in 2019. And that thing was for the flood. Due to the flood, they lost the sheds. 3 women, they were selected, and she constructed it with her own fund.
Sort of rehabilitation, yeah.
Yeah. And I was also there in the Kakinada meeting to see Gomthi Chechi presenting the thing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Over to you. Yeah, Supriya, you can.
Yeah.
And Meera ji would speak, right? You can explain, Meera ji? No, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what this is. Yeah.
Okay, these are visuals, right?
Yeah.
Very nice PPT.
My son has made it, Akhilesh.
Okay. This being a PDF file, I can show only this much of you.
Okay, perfect. It would be good if Meera ji can say a few lines about
each. Meera ji, you could speak a bit about each.
In the context.
Actually, we had come back from the States after Anjalika's wedding. And our daughter Angelika had bought this jacket, this sweater for her. So she was very happy wearing it. That is one picture.
Yeah.
I think Akhilesh my son will speak about this. He's
Okay.
Hi, how are you? This is
Akhilesh. Nice having you.
Thank you so much for having me. Basically, this presentation was put together just to overview. Actually, overview is a very small word compared to what she's done, and the impact that she's created. It's only after we put together this thing that we realized, that when you work at a grassroot level, the impact can be very compounding. So just a PowerPoint presentation. We go to the next slide. Basically, talking about the Crush program that she had started close to her house, where basically very young kids of the ages of 2 to 3 years or 4 years of age were coming, and they were learning, being educated, and also being fed, which is a very simple thing, but it makes a big impact. You can go to the next slide if you would like. Again, she had part of the Mahila printing. It started a printing press as well, where we were a program in Shastankota, which she was trying to skills for women. And to generate external work, she had basically gone to bus stations and got an opportunity to generate these bus tickets for them through the printing press. We can go to the next slide, please. Again, this was very close to her heart. She was trying to eliminate complete smoke. Smokeless chulas was something she wanted to pioneer in the village, in Shastankota, where she because women's health was very, women were suffering from inhaling smoke from the smoke chulas, and she had done thousands close to that, in the village itself. Low-cost sanitation program was also something that she had pioneered, in Shastankota. Again, for the lack of sanitation available in the villages. So, as we know, our Prime Minister is doing this now. So it was something that she had started there. Can you go to the next slide, please? Again, being having that business savvy mind as well, she had also started this agarbatti and candle making program, part of the skill development as well, self-employment. Go to the next slide, please. Biogas plants were also something that she had pioneered. Go to the next slide, please. And also, dairy program for social economics, social welfare in Shastankota. So various programs. We can go to the next slide. Again, family clinics was a thing that she was very. The program that she wanted to was very close to her heart as well. We can go to the next slide, please. Medical plant program aided by the Netherlands Embassy, New Delhi. Again, another thing that she
To
In her own land, she did also.
we can go to the next slide, please. And vocational training, as part of the crush, also she had women coming and learning typing skills again in Shastankota, again to make them more independent, make them more self-dependent. We can go to the next slide as well. Again, next slide is also part of it, as which was the tailoring program that was again initiated by her, Shastankota. Go to the next slide, please. Yeah, and again, another mini cottage thing, soap powder making, just to give women an opportunity to develop skills and generate income on their own and support their families. We can go to the next slide, please. The initiatives, as you can see, things that she had laid out. I mean, yeah, she had started an old age home as well. We can go to the next slide, please. So there it is. I mean, we can't sum it up in a presentation. Her work was tremendous. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And finally, we could catch you. Yeah, you were missing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So with this lovely PPT you have presented, look like someone young had prepared this. It's unusual. It gave a
Mentally prepared one.
about enterprise and the marketing and management and all the crux of the matter. Very nice. Very well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So much.
I think this brings us to the end of the program, is it? Or anyone else who wants to?
Yeah.
I think let's formally close this program and then we can interact freely. So I would, for the formal vote of thanks, I would invite Mrs. Supriya Bhalerao, Joint Secretary AIWC. And she prepares lovely invites. Everyone knows that. Over to you, Supriya, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Yutika. This is Supriya Bhalerao, Joint Secretary, presenting a word of thanks. Firstly, I thank profusely Mrs. Sheila Kakde, our present president, for starting this series of webinars on the past presidents. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yes, so this series of webinars on past presidents, and as Yutika said, accidentally. She began it accidentally, and we just went ahead with her with a series covering all our past presidents till Mrs. Gomthi Nair, one after the other, consistently improving day by day. And here we are today on the last session, and feeling really bad in our mind. But I must tell you that assisting Sheila ji in doing research and create those presentations was a great task. But Yutika and I, we did it successfully under Sheila ji's guidance. We not only gained a lot of knowledge during the course, but also enjoyed doing it. This is the 27th session on the 38th president, Mrs. Gomthi Nair, who was till recently with us. I thank sincerely our Secretary General, Mrs. Kuljit Kaur, and Treasurer, Mrs. Rehana Begum, for fully supporting the series by presenting on many presidents and being there throughout. I'll have to mute someone. Yeah. I thank today's speakers who spoke about Gomthi ji. Firstly, our patron, Mrs. Veena Kohli, for giving us an account of 20 years of association, her association with Gomthi ji, and about Gomthi ji's contribution to AIWC. I thank Mrs. Maithili Jagannathan for a detailed narration of Gomtiji's work in terms of the projects and also her international travel on AIWC's work. Thank you, Maithili ji. Now I thank Asha ji, Dr. Asha Deshpande, who worked very closely with Gomati ji as the treasurer and Shivani ji as her secretary general. Asha ji explained in detail how she and Shivani ji have worked under Gomati ji's guidance as the president and how it was a very good teamwork they have put forth. And it was nice presentation, giving us details of, details like 3 trusts of AIWC were formed and many other different work aspects. I thank Shivani ji also. It was a joint session for both of them and sharing the nice experiences of Gomati ji later when she joined us again. I now thank Dr. Vijaya Lakshmi for the beautiful presentation she put together, giving us an account of Gomati ji's work in Trivandrum and also explaining about her own association with Gomati ji. And now thank Ms. Archana Nair for reading out the note written by respected Indira Pillai ji on Gomati Nair ji. And, this was prepared for the Roshni issue. We thank Mrs. Usha Nair to help Mrs. Indira Pillai join this meeting and letting us have a glimpse of her. Thank you, Usha ji. I thank Mrs. Krishna Kumari ji also for sharing her experiences of Gomati ji, who was her mentor, she said. I thank you very much, Bhargavi ji, for talking about Gomati ji, who was like her colleague. I thank Thangamani ji, who is from Gomati ji's branch, for giving us an account. And thank you, Usha ji, for giving us a gist of it. Thank you, Mr. Ram Gupta and Mrs. Meera Gupta for sharing those experiences and, helping the dynamic Amma in doing her work for AIWC. So no one has actually fallen kind of short of giving everything to Gomati ji. Probably that was a quality of getting extracted some kind of good work for everyone, from everyone. And I'm happy to know about it. I thank Mrs. Beena Jain, our patron, for sharing those interesting memories of Gomati ji, of her loving nature and protective attitude, and so on. I thank Ushaji for getting all the speakers from Kerala who added value in describing Gomati ji's work, personality, and warm nature. Thank you, Mrs. Shanta Nair, Mrs. Bhuvaneshwari, Mrs. Hema Raghavan, Mrs. Suma Pillai, Suma Raj Pillai, Miss Archana Nair, and Mrs. Padma Venkatramanji for talking about our past president and sharing the pleasant memories with all of us. It all shows that Gomati ji was a very popular personality among our members and branches. As a president or patron, she was always friendly and approachable. It was wonderful to know about various angles of her personality, nature, and it gives us. Though I did not have any personal experience, very close experience as such, but it was wonderful to know about her once again through all these presentations. I now thank all our patrons, vice presidents, zonal organizers, members in charge, and all the participants, all of you, to be present here for this webinar, as well as be present for the earlier ones also. I thank Yutika in the end, as usual, who's done a great job of, wonderful job of moderation. Now, my special thanks to you all for giving great response to this webinar series. And we are parting with heavy heart today, but not for too long, as and this is not the end this is only the end of the first phase, and we will be meeting again over the many more phases to come, because we are now actually getting used to knowing about your presidents and through the story sessions and also taking the message from that. So this is the end of it, and I wish you all the best for the future series. Thank you.
Thank you, Supriya. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you give me 1 minute? Shivaji,
Yes.
Yeah. So with the permission of head office and whatever I have explained about the Gomthi ji, when she was also having in her mind that I should become a president. So this time, that is in the near election, I just wanted to request all of you that I am standing for the president, and please help me in that, and we all will work together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sheila ji and office and all my colleagues and all my members that you hear me, and please help me for working like Gomthi ji. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best. All the
I
best,
just
Asha.
wanted
Yes,
to
ma'am.
share this.
All the
Thank
best,
you.
Asha ji. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sheila ji, thank you so much, because your vision is very wonderful. We cannot forget this, because we got opportunities to listen our elders, patrons, how
Yes.
they are working with AWC. Because God bless you, Sheila ji, because you
Thank
started this initiative, and we are really enlightened after
We
listening.
should be thankful to COVID, because of COVID all this started.
27
And not to miss that,
27
we
presidency.
had
It is so wonderful.
Lakshmi ji, we
Oh.
also had ample material in the library, and that was just lying like that. No one was coming there.
Yeah.
And now we made good use of all that
Yes.
material.
Yes.
This is
And I
And
was
and
sitting here
Yutika,
alone, and this idea came to my mind.
Yeah, and you made good use. Yeah. Supriya wanted to
and
say
Yutika, there is one more thing you have to accept, that we have added more and more material to your library archives.
all the videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now please
I said
accept
in the
that.
end. That
So
I said
many
initially.
relatives, so many relatives,
Yeah.
friends from abroad.
That I said initially, but
Yes.
I also feel that all the archival material and the way it's kept is a good thing for public use. Now people can come and everyone can use it. So all the more, all these recordings are
I had the idea to make our members know about their past legacy,
Yes.
That was the main idea.
That was the spark that started
the spark.
fire.
Right. And the
And
idea
like
rolled on.
all good things, this also has to end. But as
Yeah.
Supriya said, this is the first phase and this work in progress. And this continues. We'll continue with the other presidents.
Yes.
For next
Thank you,
5
Kulji,
years.
And we also must
for your
all
support
accept.
also.
Yeah.
And we also must accept that after the series, our love for the organization has grown multifold. Don't we all accept that?
Yes.
Yes.
We should be
Yes,
proud, we be member of All India Women's Congress.
Yeah, we are attached to
Yeah.
this such a big organization.
गोमती जी के बाद मैं आती हूँ, मगर मैं जब तक जिंदा हूँ मैं नहीं कर रहे दूंगी। उल्टा सीधा बोलते हैं तो मैं बीच में अपना जरूर लगाऊंगी।
Your sharing was so interesting, Sharing, Veena was
मेरे बाद जो आए हैं अगर they agree, आप उनका कर लीजिए, मगर मैं नहीं, अब जब तक मैं I'm alive, I won't allow.
सही तो होगा शुरू
जी,
पहले
बीना
कैसे
जी, बीना जी, मैं कुछ कहूँ?
कहिए ना।
आपने इतना सारा कुछ किया हुआ है आज तक, ये संस्था के लिए इतना ज्यादा काम किया हुआ है, और भी बहुत ज्यादा करना है। हम इसको आपको अभी बुला के इस सीरीज में उसको फुल स्टॉप नहीं करवाना चाहते हैं।
मगर मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, मैं नहीं समझती दिस वाज माय ड्यूटी, जो मैंने किया, जो मैंने अपने पुराने प्रेसिडेंट वगैरह जो मैंने सीखा, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत अर्ली एज में ज्वाइन किया था, वो मैंने किया, मगर मैंने अपने से कुछ नहीं किया और मैं उसके लिए अपने कानों में कुछ नहीं सुनना चाहती।
मैं ऐड करती हूँ बीना जी, आप खुद ही बोलिएगा, आप खुद ही अपना बताइए।
नहीं, अपने मुंह मियां बताओ, क्या मतलब है?
थोड़ा सा चेंज कर देते हैं।
इस बार आप मेरे बाद चेंज कर लेंगे, उनको मेरे बाद जितने भी हैं उनको ले लीजिए।
मीरा जी,
नहीं नहीं क्योंकि
मीरा
मीरा जी
जी,
आपको
ये
मालूम है कि
आपको
3 घंटे बहुत कम है आपके लिए, इसलिए आप नहीं मान रहे।
अब
दो
मैं
3 दिन
ये
करेंगे,
कह रही हूँ 2 days करेंगे, 2 दिन करेंगे।
3 दिन करेंगे, 9 hours.
I agree with बीना जी, अभी आपने एक फेज बंद कर दिया है. This should be the end. Actually, the purpose of having this webinars was also to let people know कि how devoted we women have been towards this organization. और इन लोगों ने कितना काम किया है. So for the future generation, I think this is enough. I agree with बीना जी. अभी आप अगले टाइम आप 5-6 साल के बाद 10 साल जब भी उसके बाद शुरू कीजिएगा.
तो बीना जी बताएगा कौन, हम लोग तो रहेंगे नहीं तभी, तो बात कौन करेगा?
अभी तो आपने पर्पस जो किया है, the purpose
जी,
for
आपको
which you
जाने
have
की
done
जरूरत
this.
क्यों है?
मेरे को कहीं जाने की नहीं है,
हमारा
मैंने
पर्पस
सारी
सॉल्व हुआ है, अभी हम फुल स्टॉप लगाना है, दैट्स ऑल।
आप कहीं भी नहीं जा रहे हैं।
प्रिया मैं आपको प्रेसिडेंट बना के जाऊंगी,
युतिका
डोंट वरी।
नोस मेरा सारा मटेरियल लाइब्रेरी में है, मैं अपने घर से उठा के सब वहां दे आती हूँ।
उन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं रखा है, ठीक कह रही है।
मैंने कुछ नहीं रखा है।
बीना जी, मैं कुछ कहना चाहती हूँ.
अपना
देखिए,
ऑफिस में दे दिया।
हम अभी गोमती जी तक तो हमने ये ऐसा सारा सुन लिया है, लेकिन हम लोगों ने जो हम अभी अभी ज्वाइन हुए हैं, हमने आपका काम देखा हुआ है.
ये
तो
गोमती
अभी
आप
तो
मैसेज में
गोमती
पढ़िएगा,
जी तक
मैंने
तो हमने
लिखा
सब
है।
सुना था.
आई थिंक सुप्रिया वो ठीक कह
सुप्रिया,
रही है दे-
सुप्रिया मैंने कुछ लिखा है, थोड़ी बहुत लिखा है, 5-4 पेज, वो मैं आपको रोशनी के लिए दूंगी, आप पढ़िए उसमें।
हाँ,
मैंने तभी कहा ना बीना जी अपने बारे में खुद ही बोलेंगे, हम नहीं बोलेंगे।
नहीं हम भी बोलेंगे बाद में अभी नहीं।
थोड़ा सा जो मुझे
थैंक्स
थोड़ा
करेंगे
याद
सुप्रिया।
रहा, मुझे बहुत कुछ याद है, मगर मैंने कुछ लिख दिया। अगर मैं सारी
सबको याद, आपको सब कुछ याद है बीना जी, आपकी मेमोरी तो इतनी शार्प है।
तो मैं आपकी मैगजीन, नेक्स्ट मैगजीन में दे दूंगी, आप अपने सामने उसको प्रिंट कराइए, ताकि मुझे डोनेट मुझे दे दीजिए थोड़े से 5-6 पेजेस, और फिर मेरा वो सब छाप दीजिए। सुप्रिया विल रीड एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि मैं क्या कह रही हूँ।
वो गागर में सागर भरने जैसा होगा ना?
हाँ, करेक्ट.
अच्छा,
But you know the 100%.
हर बार सुप्रिया, I'm missing that sentence. See you next time on this day.
I know I did not say
So I
that,
don't
and I just
know.
said we are parting with heavy heart,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
really not nice.
So I don't know what
But
to
you know,
say now.
100% or 200% credit goes to Sheila ji.
अरे
You know, she only
without you
began.
people,
She
Sheila
started
ji
it, so it
and
happened.
without
Kuljeet and Rehana and
without
Ritu.
everybody's help
हाँ,
and support,
Pratima.
nothing can
Yeah.
work.
yeah.
शीला जी
वो
ब्रेन
शीला जी ने शुरू किया है, बाकी आपने भी, सुप्रिया बहुत काम किया, युतिका ने भी बहुत काम किया,
बहुत काम किया।
लाइब्रेरी का बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है।
एक्शन किंग युतिका।
लाइब्रेरी का मैंने तो हमें
प्रिया प्लीज
हमें
से
रंजना का
relatives
धन्यवाद
को
करना चाहिए।
ये बोल दो।
रंजना इतना अच्छा रिकॉर्ड निकाल करके देती है,
नहीं, सब
तो हमें लाइब्रेरी का बहुत धन्यवाद
रंजना
करना
एंड
चाहिए।
सुजाता
और देखो
रंजना ने लॉकडाउन के दरमियान मैंने युतिका जी को एक फोन किया, उन्होंने रंजना को बोला, रंजना ने मेरे को वो भाषण भेज दिया, यू नो, आवर फर्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट
आज सुप्रिया, एक्चुअली मैं आपको आज सुप्रिया को देना चाहिए था कि उसका भी थैंक्स करते।
बहुत
आपकी लास्ट सीरीज
मैं तो रोज
शीला जी ने करा है ना रंजना का थैंक्स बिना
हर बार करती हैं।
अच्छा मैंने ध्यान नहीं।
नहीं शीला जी, मैं हर बार लाइब्रेरी के सारे स्टाफ, युतिका जी का, सुप्रिया का, हमेशा स्टाफ एंड रिचु प्रोग्राम ऑफिसर्स। बीना जी आप ऐसे मेरा नहीं सुनते ही वो नहीं, मुझे अच्छा लगता है।
और क्या,
ऐसा नहीं है,
लो जी शिकायत हो गई बीना
आपका तो लिखा हुआ है पीपीटीज में हर एक
अपना ये वीडियो अपनी गायब कर देती हूँ ना, मगर इसके मतलब ये नहीं है कि मैं यहाँ नहीं होती हूँ, मैं यही
होते हो, परंतु मैं जब
अगर मैं कभी चाय पी रही हूँ, पानी पी रही हूँ, वो मैं आपको दिखाना नहीं चाहते।
ये ब्रेन चाइल्ड था शीला जी का, और हमारी क्रिएटिव थी, डायरेक्शन सारा था युतिका जी का।
अगर मैं
हमारी क्रिएटिव वेबिनार क्वीन थी सुप्रिया। इन सब के साथ हम भी मिलके इसको एंजॉय करे थे। बहुत शुक्रिया।
आपने तो पूरा दरबार सजाया हुआ
आपका तो बहुत ही योगदान है, दोनों का भी, कुलजीत जी का, आपका, रेहाना जी, बहुत ज्यादा योगदान है।
अगर मुझे बोलते ये सब कुछ नहीं चाहिए, वेबएक्स नहीं लेना है, क्यों लेना है वेबएक्स, तो ये
और
होता ही
क्या,
नहीं।
होता ही
वो सबसे पहले वेबएक्स ये दिमाग में था कि हमने
वहां से
चिमनाबाई का करने का था, एंड हाउ टू डू
हाँ
इट, वी कैन नॉट ब्रिंग पीपल हियर टू आवर, ये बड़े हॉल में करेंगे, क्या सोचा था युतिका, डू यू रिमेम्बर, बड़े हॉल में सबको बुलाएंगे, आगा खान हॉल के बड़े हॉल में,
सारा यहाँ से मट गया वेबएक्स में,
हाँ,
लेकिन होता
then
ही
हमने
है।
सोचा वो सब
भी
नहीं
आपने
होने
सबको
वाला,
जोड़ लिया,
हम लोगों ने
भी
बहुत
आपने
कुछ
सारे देश को जोड़ लिया, तो और क्या।
that's
और
the
टेक्स्ट
best
से
part.
भी बन के सब, ये तो वेबिनार वर्ड ही नहीं था हमारी डिक्शनरी में।
Exactly.
बिल्कुल,
वेबिनार
तो
के
लोगों ने
साथ
बहुत
ये
encourage
था।
किया था।
और बीना जी शुरू में लोगों के लेटर्स भी आएगा, वेबिनार कैसे कर सकते हो, गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से परमिटेड
बीना
नहीं है,
जी,
फिर हमने सारे
मैं
निकाले गाइडलाइंस।
आपने सिखाया भी लोगों को, टीचिंग याद है, ट्यूटोरियल क्लासेस भी हुई लोगों को, सीखा लोगों
भाई
ने।
अब तो सरकार, गवर्नमेंट भी बहुत से वेबिनार सारे उसी में कर रही है।
इसमें ही
कर रहे हैं।
अब तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर के
सारे
वेबिनार पे हो रहे हैं।
पहले हम जूम लेने वाले थे, तो जूम अच्छा नहीं है बोला किसी ने, क्योंकि वो उसका
लिमिटेड
या इसलिए वेबएक्स पे गए, वेबएक्स पे हमने पहला जो किया वो यूट्यूब पे भी डाला, और फिर हिम्मत आ गई और भी करेंगे।
हाँ,
अच्छा चलता है।
every episode it improved. It really improved. We were proud of ourselves.
सुप्रिया सबने मेहनत बहुत करी,
pat your
बहुत
backs.
करी,
People work
वहां से
very hard.
गड्ढे खोद खोद के रिश्तेदारों को निकाला,
You people work very hard.
नेफ्यूज, ये वो कहाँ से निकाला,
कहाँ से निकाले, पारसी
बहुत
उस पर
अरे
वो
उनके
डाला,
रिश्तेदारों को ढूंढने में कैसे लगी अपने को तकलीफ,
और कई बार तो हमें लास्ट
अभी
वीक
तो ये लगता है
लास्ट मिनट तक रिश्तेदार नहीं मिल रहे थे।
बेटे को तो मैं ढूंढ के लाई थी, शीला जी ने
हाँ
गाड़ी दी।
हाँ बिल्कुल,
आप कहाँ चढ़ के उतर के सीढ़ी से, पता नहीं
रक्षा शरण के,
मैंने कहा वो वहां है, मैंने पहले एक टीम भेजी, उन्होंने कहा नहीं जी वो कोई नहीं है।
ओल्ड
मैंने शीला जी से कहा मुझे गाड़ी दो, मैं जाती हूँ। तो आई वेंट देयर, मैं और रेहाना गए, और हम सारा कुछ पता करके आ गए।
विजयलक्ष्मी जी वांट टू
थैंक यू,
पर
थैंक यू
प्रेसिडेंट के बारे में हमें कुछ न कुछ मिल गया, बहुत अच्छा।
थैंक यू विजयलक्ष्मी, थैंक यू सो मच।
गोमती जी के बारे में हम लोग बहुत बोलना चाहते थे, बिकॉज मैंने तो ज्वाइन तभी किया था when she was the secretary. She was such a nice and affectionate personality. पर इतना टाइम नहीं था क्योंकि लोग बार बार इतनी तारीफें कर रहे थे, इसलिए हम लोग चुप रहे। अदरवाइज वी हैड लॉट टू टॉक अबाउट
लिख देना, रोशनी में भी लिख सकते हैं अपना।
अभी 4 घंटे हो गए,
ये जर्नी
3 hours and 50
4
minutes.
घंटे, अच्छा, आई थिंक वी नीड
प्रेसिडेंट की जर्नी ना बड़ौदा में शुरू होके केरल में चुकी है।
बड़ौदा से केरल पहुंचे।
कृतिका क्लोज, शीला जी करें, और ट्रैफिक बढ़ रहा है।
ओके, बाय बाय।
आपका ट्रैफिक, मेरा ये बंद होने का टाइम हो गया, रिकॉर्डिंग बंद हो जाएगा।
ओके,
अर्चना कांग्रेचुलेशंस।